All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wareham Zoning Board of Appeal for tonight's meeting on Wednesday, June 10, 2026. It is 6 p.m. and we are at room 520 at the Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. Also, you could be on Zoom and the passcode is 908796. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Make a roll call. My far left, Mr. Christopher Conti, Mr. Richard Semple, Associate Member Elizabeth Aroni, my far right member Troy Larson, and our clerk Jim Akabachi, and myself, Nazi Alkolasi. We're gonna take a vote to go into executive session. It's under MGL Section 38, Chapter 38, Section 21A3. All right. Can we get a motion to go?
So moved.
So we have a motion to go in executive session by Mr. Akabachi. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Semple. All in favor say aye. State your name and say aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris?
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
We gotta
And
get you a
myself, Nazi, aye.
So we'll be in executive session for at least a half an hour.
They have to go outside. Mr. Connor Alden just came in, and we're gonna go into executive session. Thank you. All right, very well. Thank you all for coming. We're gonna move to some quick business on the minutes. I don't have a date for the minutes, Josh. There's none? All right, on 3020 Cranberry Highway for a final. 3020.
Yep. So, Mr. Chair, this board had previously voted to issue a temporary certificate of occupancy. There were just a few outstanding items remaining on the property. Some curbing had to be replaced along the left side and rear of the property. Planting still had to be installed, and there was a wall that needed some reconditioning. Phil, I won't speak for Phil, but Phil and I both went out there. We reviewed the plans. The only discrepancy we found with the final plan and what had taken place on the property was the plantings didn't have enough plantings according to the plan. But if you are to go out there, I think planting the missing plantings would just overcrowd the beds that are there. And my recommendation tonight would be to sign off on the final permit.
All right, anyone here for 3020 Cranberry Highway? No one's here. Connor, do you have a comment on that?
Oh, no, I read through it. Everything
Troy.
looks good.
Which
Nope,
one's
I'm good.
3020?
Tropical smoothie.
Smoothie, please.
Okay.
Troy, nothing?
Nope.
Jimmy?
They've got a wall that needs to be painted and one that needs to be built.
So the one that needed to be built is built. I have images if you'd like to review them, but it's the same exact as the
Okay, and what
remainder of
about the
wall.
painting?
The painting is not done.
The painting is
Oh,
not done.
thank you, Phil.
So, I'll say, I'll agree to approve subject to the work being completed. I don't think the occupancy should be issued until the paint is on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what happened if we say yes.
Yeah, I'll do it
You're
tomorrow.
not happy with the
Let me pay
paint?
you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
All right.
There was also mentioned something about some section of concrete curbing that wasn't done, but they said it would be done before today. Was that completed?
It was.
Yeah.
It was completed and confirmed.
Okay, thanks.
Rich?
I'm good.
Elizabeth?
I'm good.
Excuse me, but I would not, I want the work done before they get their
Yeah.
occupancy.
Same here.
So I make a motion to approve, subject to completion of the work when the work is completed to the satisfaction of the peer engineer. We get a message saying it's done, they can have their CO.
Or should we continue until they do it?
I think you're fine either way. I'll let the applicant know that we're not gonna issue the CO
we
until the
continue.
paint is
Huh?
up.
You want to continue? Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to continue.
All right, we'll continue this matter until June 24, isn't it? Yeah, it'll be hard to chase everybody. June 24. Can I get a motion to continue?
So moved.
Second.
Second by Rich, all in favor, say aye. Troy?
Troy Larson, aye.
Sorry,
Connor Alden, aye.
Jimmy.
Jim Akabachi.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And myself, Nazir El Khalasi, I continue till June 24th. Josh, if they reach out, just tell them they gotta finish it before then.
Understood.
And the temporary CO, when's it till?
I think we've issued 2 or 3 at this point.
Yeah, but when?
You didn't,
Huh?
you didn't give a due date.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right, so
We're,
that's fine.
we're just issuing
So
temporary.
they're fine until June 24th.
By her account, I would say that she's not fine until June 24th. There's a lot of pressure on her from the bank to get a final CO. The conversation I had with her was she had a gallon of the paint, but it's a special paint, and they were waiting for the other second gallon to come in so that they didn't have to piecemeal the painting exercise.
Well, the motion's been done, it is continued, but the only reason is, does she need an extension for the temporary CO? That's what I'm saying.
No, the bank is very adamant on her having a final CO, and that's, I agree.
So the bank doesn't, the bank's not a member of this board.
No,
There you go.
and again, I'm not making the argument, you had asked the
It's
question.
at 26-29, 50 Indian Neck Road. Anyone here for 50 Indian Neck Road?
The 50's coming forward.
He said there's a hand raised online. I don't know what it's for.
Which one, John?
Probably Bobrowski.
Okay.
Hang on a minute. Was that on the last one, the hand raising?
I don't know if it's this or the other. What is it?
Mark Bobrowski, the attorney of record for the applicant.
For this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, very well. Okay, Counselor.
Indian Neck, yes.
Counselor, your
Applicant
name and that.
Indian Neck. They're here tonight for approval of their as-built plan so that they can get a certificate of occupancy from the building department.
All right.
I believe that there have been a couple of site walks. I know GAF and Phil Cordero, your peer reviewer, were working hard on this. GAF was unable to make it here tonight, but perhaps Phil can bring you up to speed.
All right, just for the record, Counselor, just state your name with the recorder didn't pick it up. Just your name and address for the record.
Bobrowski again, Mr. Chairman, and I'm at Damon Mill in Concord, Massachusetts.
All right, very well. Phil,
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Attorney Bobrowski noted, we
just
did...
state your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Phil Cordero, Allen and Major Associates. Spelling of the last name is Cordeiro. As Attorney Bobrowski represented, we did receive through the portal a copy of the as-built prepared by GAF along with a quick summary letter that they have completed the work, and in GAF's opinion, it was substantially complete. They identified 10 deviations from the plan, which we wanted to bring in front of the board tonight and present them to you. And then we also did do a site walk to review them at the beginning of this week to confirm those 10 items, confirm the general condition of the site. The long and the short of it is they've built out the site. It looks good. Most of the items that are on there, that are on the GF review letter are very minor, meaning they added an additional hydrant on the site at the request of the fire department. There's a section of wooden fence as opposed to chain link, and that was done in coordination with the neighbors. There's a section of a gate at the end of Forest Way. There was a gate proposed at the end of Forest Way, which is supposed to be decorative per the original plans. Apparently, the fire department asked them to put in a standard bar gate, which is much less aesthetic, but they certainly noted it as a deviation. There's also an area of the plan around one of the exterior parking spots. They had a short retaining wall where instead of a handrail, they put up fencing on it. So minor changes that don't change the intent, they don't create deviations from the bylaws, but we certainly want to bring them to the board's attention this evening, so that way if you are comfortable with them, you certainly want to get those on record. But there are two particular matters that I do want to mention to the board so you can deliberate on them as part of your conversation this evening. If the board recalls, along the frontage of Forest Way, there was a stone retaining wall with a fence along top of it, a screening fence. They did in fact install that. If you've had a chance to look at it, it's actually a very nice wall, a very well-built and very expensive wall. But portions of that wall reside within the layout of Forest Way. The layout of it, however it was constructed in the field, deviates and actually leaves the property. And then on the southwesterly corner of the site, adjacent to the town land, there was a chain link fence proposed. They have in fact installed the chain link fence, but a portion of that also extends onto the town property. As we discussed with the applicant, I guess both of the adjustments were made in the field to accommodate the construction in an easier fashion, but they've inadvertently created two encroachments, one outside of the right-of-way and one on the town's land. The one that's within Forest Way, I would suggest to the board, is less concerning. Forest Way is a private way. It's going to be owned by this group of abutters, including Gosnold, in perpetuity. And technically, legally speaking, an abutter on a private roadway would own to the fee center line, that it doesn't impede the travel way, it doesn't impede the rights of easement and access, that should the board see fit to allow it, it could stay without harm. The other one, however de minimis a couple of sections of chain link fence are, I do not believe the board should approve this as-built with the fence located on the town's land, because you would inadvertently be authorizing that construction on land that you wouldn't have rights to authorize. So my suggestion relative to that is, if you are willing to entertain closure on the as-built, that you seek a condition or an agreement from this applicant that that fence be moved back onto the property. In the letter that we did issue, it just came in yesterday because we just did the site walk on Monday. There are a couple of curbs that need repair. They don't detract from the traveled way, but they certainly could be improved upon. There's some areas of erosion on site. There's a broken piece of sidewalk. So a couple of matters that the project isn't 100% complete, but I know the applicant, similar to the prior applicant, is under a time is of the essence situation regarding an occupancy permit here. So that's the overview. I'm happy to talk about any one of those matters in greater detail to the board's pleasure.
All right, Troy, Connor, what do you think?
I don't have any questions right now.
Troy,
I agree with the fencing.
how about the other
The other minor stuff, it seems fine.
Jimmy?
Just for my own clarification, the chain link fence, 2 sections, is that 8 feet per section, 6 feet per two 8-foot sections?
So I can't confirm whether it's only 2 sections. It may be 3 sections, but it's 8 foot
Okay.
per se. So we're negotiating on somewhere between 16 and 25, 30 feet of fence.
Okay,
Is what we're talking about.
okay.
It looks
On the-
more like 10 sections.
On the
but-
private property, I don't have any issue with it, because like you said, it's owned in common with the neighbors. On the town land, I don't have any problem with it, except for the fact that I don't have the authority to say it's okay to build on town property.
That's my advice to the board. My correction, the chairman did just point it out. I was thinking about the wooden fence as being 3. The chain link fence encroachment is about 9 to 10 sections of fence. So you're looking at about 75 to 80 feet of fence on the town land.
Correct,
My apologies.
that's all right.
So,
Chris?
so who in the town could give them permission to leave it up?
So the town administrator and I had a discussion about this afternoon, and if the board was willing to grant, final sign off, that he and I would deal with this issue internally.
In other words, the town would be willing to issue some form of a lease or a right or,
There are a couple avenues that it could take. We're not sure which avenue we would take right now. I think from the applicant's standpoint, it'd probably just be easier for them to get it back on their property. But we would be willing to have those
oh,
conversations.
it's a forward, it's property line, it's 7 inches over the property line as opposed, the 75 feet of fence would still exist, it's just where it would exist.
Correct.
Right.
Completely different than the way I had it in my mind, thank you for that, so, okay.
In our opinion, moving the fence is probably the best path, but I would let the applicants speak to it.
I, much as I hate to put the applicant through it, I think that's the only path we can take, but that's enough out of me.
Chris?
Yeah, I agree with the rest of the board on this. To have them move the fence, chain link fence.
And the other minor stuff, you okay
The other
with?
minor stuff I'm okay with.
Rich?
We just held a standard for smoothie, and now we're turning around and saying it's okay, we'll let it go
No,
for
we-
this.
we're not letting go of the CO yet. We
Okay, we're
haven't
not
voted-
letting go?
We haven't voted on it.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
are you okay with the minor stuff and you agree on the fencing?
I just want all the stuff done.
Okay, very well. No, there's a minor things happen during construction that moved. I mean, it's normal during construction, you can't get 100%, so are you okay with these stuff? For instance, the gate, the fire department wanted a gate that they can open easily, apparently.
Just understand, it's thrown in front of me, I haven't had a chance to think it over. And again, I didn't think we were getting things this way, but
All right,
that's my opinion. I'd like to see everything done.
very well. Elizabeth, you have a comment?
The minor damage to the pavement, that was
Curbing.
from-
Curbing.
that's from construction?
So they built the curbing, and then what it looks like is some vehicles drove over it and cracked the curbing.
And I think I read somewhere that that was,
In the
I don't have it. That was necessary for traffic runoff, I think I read somewhere here. Again, like I just received this too today, so this is new to me. Controlled traffic and runoff. So the repairs are for literally traffic and runoff.
So what I put in the letter is that the curbing is damaged, but it still will control traffic
Okay.
and runoff. So those are the concerns under the zoning bylaws, that any parking area needs to have curbing around it. It does have that. But we also like to note a quality product at the end of the day, and there's a couple of sections in disrepair, but they remain functional.
Okay, they're functional.
Yes.
Okay, no further questions.
All right, sir, you have 2 weeks to fix it. If you want to come back, get your CO. You okay with that? First, your name for the records first.
Sure, John Hines, property owner. The fence we just became aware of when they did the final as-built plan, and we're certainly willing to move that. The other minor items we can get done. We are, Gosnold has a time restraint, and so we would appreciate it if you could issue the CO, and even if we have to bond it or whatever to get it
If you want to
completed.
bond it, yeah. If you want to put a bond?
Could be one.
That's the problem. We need an estimate for the bond. We don't have an estimate for that stuff.
Yeah, so again, moving the fence, we can get done quickly.
I understand that, and I think you guys did a great job, especially with the nice fancy fence along the road, and you guys did very good job on everything. But unfortunately, you see how what the board's heading. In order to make a bond, we need a bunch of estimates, and we have to approve it. It would take a lot more than 2 weeks. My suggestion, you go fix these stuff and come back. And I think that, we'll pull a vote and see what happens.
Okay. I mean, we're
Mr.
willing
Chairman,
to-
can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
With Mr. Cordero in the room, perhaps he can overestimate the bond amount, and we'd be happy to post that amount rather than go through the precise calculation of what all this is going to cost
$100,000.
I don't think anything there is gonna be of terrible expense, but we're happy to put the bond in place for much more than the amount will ever be.
All right, why don't we table this to the end, and Mr. Phil can figure out some number, and if the board agrees to it, we'll go for it. How's that?
That's
As long as
fine, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Hines is heard, the folks at Gosnold are in pretty difficult straits, and they need to get into the building right away.
So is everyone else, Counselor, I understand. But like I said, we'll table this case until the end. Mr. Cordero, during the hearings in between, he could figure out the number, and he throws it at us when he's ready. We'll put it back on the table, and we'll vote on it. And you could come up with the bond. Did that make sense?
Unless you can think of a number right now.
I absolutely could. Shooting very high, given what we're dealing with out there right now, if you bonded for a value of, say, $25,000, that would cover everything that needs to be done out there, including the relocation of the fence is the biggest one, which is easy. It's just because of the
Right.
land encroachment. So $25,000, if the board really wanted to shoot high, $50,000, and easily accomplishes everything.
Okay, we put a bond 50,000, we condition that the bond CO will not be issued without bringing the bond to the town. Josh will not sign on the CO without that bond, and you're on your way, if that makes sense.
That would be fine.
Counselor, you okay with that? Counselor, you good?
He's nodding.
Yes,
All right.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. That being said, let's pull a vote, make a motion, if somebody wishes
I
to.
move to grant a certificate of occupancy subject to the terms and conditions previously discussed, including the bond.
Including a bond of $50,000. So we have a motion from Jim. Do I have a second on
Second.
that? Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Connor?
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
All right, and myself, Nazir Akalasi, aye. Bring your bond, and like I said, you did a good job. I love the fence on Forest Way, came out very nice.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, members.
Nice hearing from you.
Anybody got anything to turn in on that one?
Give it to you.
26-4,
I wasn't here.
2 East Boulevard.
I don't think I was here when that
Mr.
project
Chair, there was a request to put this on your agenda after, an internal review at the planning department. Me and the applicant had decided that there were some revisions that need to be made, some questions that still need to be answered. So they are asking not to be heard tonight and would like to come back at the end of June.
End of June?
Yep.
All right. Can we, is the board okay with this? And if it's okay, can we get a motion to continue to East Boulevard till June 24th?
So moved.
So we have a motion by me, Nazik, second by, I'm sorry, motion by Troy. Do I have a second?
Second, Chris.
Chris, second. All in favor to continue, say aye.
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, nay.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And myself, Nazir Akalasi, aye. So that's 4, 1, 0, and 1 is nay for Richard.
This is which one? This is,
The continuous of 2 East Boulevard.
okay.
So Richard is a no, and it's 4-1-0 to continue. It needs simple majority, actually. It needs 3 votes, so
We're good.
we're good. All right. On the draft of the zoning bylaw, is something we're discussing now?
Yeah, I'd like to give you a quick update about it.
Okay.
Very quick. That board is meeting and holding a public community event on Monday night at 6 p.m. We're requesting that members of the public join. We have the draft posted to the town website for people who would like to review it. And actually, I would like to
So
share.
this coming Monday at 6 PM?
Correct.
Where?
It's in the auditorium of the town hall.
Okay.
So that's 54.
Town hall?
Yep, that's 54 Marion Road. And it's at 6 PM.
So everybody's hearing that, would like to participate, be there at 6 PM.
So I take it that the auditorium of the town hall's been renovated.
It's good enough to hold a public hearing or a public meeting in. The problem is that there's a meeting here on Monday night, and we are hoping for a lot of participation. So we're gonna hold it in the auditorium. And I'll make a quick note, if you're on the town's website and you want to review the draft bylaw, you can go to boards and committees. Sorry, I'm trying to walk it through here. That board is the Comprehensive Zoning Bylaw Review and Revision Steering Committee. If you go to their page, you can see we have a flyer for the event on the 15th. And the draft bylaw is directly underneath that. And while I have the attention of the board, I would like to bring up just one thing about Tropical Smoothie, if I may. As it's an administrative fact, the applicant was actually here on Zoom, and she has provided photos that the wall is in fact painted as of today.
Oh,
It is painted.
Is painted, and it looks good.
oh, we'll entertain a reopening at the end.
At the end, okay.
If she doesn't wanna hang on, she should be okay, but we'll reopen at the end.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. That's actually nice, you know. All right. So anything on that?
I'm all set.
You good?
Yep.
All right, everybody's good with that. On Monday, if you wish to participate, Monday 6 PM at the Town Hall auditorium.
If you guys could give me an idea if you plan on participating, I may have to post an agenda of the zoning board, if
I
three or
will,
more
I
of you.
personally will. I don't know.
Okay.
What's this one?
This is the next one coming up.
All
I'm
right.
just getting ahead of it.
All right, we're gonna move on to the continued public hearing, and that's 26-15, Hidden Trails subdivision.
Josh, so that's on the 15th at 6 PM at 54 Marion Road.
That's correct.
Thank you.
What's this?
Sign,
Okay, we're not doing the sign now, after.
we're not doing this one now?
Hidden
It's the next
Trail.
one coming up.
I think.
Did we already approve this?
Hidden-
6:15, right?
Yeah, Hidden Trails.
Maybe
Hidden
there
Trails
was
now.
still something outstanding, but I thought so too.
I don't know when the sign is. I don't know when the sign is.
Didn't we approve this last meeting?
Sign application for Hidden Trails.
Hidden Trails.
Or is it misfiled here for something else? The files have been, yeah, this is misfiled for the liquor store. It's in the Hidden Trails file. So if they're looking for something for,
Just give back the sign application.
if you're looking for something for the liquor store that I think we approved last week,
Yeah.
Take it out.
the amended Exhibit G was in the Hidden Trails folder.
Thank you. I'll take note of that.
I'll put it over here,
Understood.
separate.
All right. You guys good?
Everybody's-
Everybody get what we need? All right. Public hearing still open, name and address,
You
and
guys
let's
got a
go at
couple
it.
things?
Peter Titlebaum, 30 Oak Street, Wareham, project attorney.
Brad Bertolo, JC Engineering, here on behalf of the applicant, Sarah John Realty LLC.
Very well. Where'd we leave it, Counselor?
Well, I'm going to turn it over to Brad, just to sort of give a brief sort of reintroduction. It's been a while since we've actually presented this. But first, I do have one small problem. It's not a problem per se, but I want to avoid a future problem. And that is, I believe Mr. Semple had said he was recusing himself previously. And under state law, it says for people who recuse themselves, if they have a conflict, they should step off of the board for that matter. And it's nothing personal, it's just that you had said that. I don't want to give anybody an easy grounds for appeal.
They could stay in the room, though.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah,
He's not recusing himself for a conflict.
Hold on one sec. Richard? Rich?
He's gone.
All right, so he recused himself last time. Okay. All right, well, we'll be setting Mr. Connor on this case, on his seat. Mr. Alden will be voting. Apparently, he wants to recuse himself. So.
yeah, he had done so previously, Mr.
Right,
Chairman.
if he stated, I remember he stated that, but
Yeah.
I didn't think, I think there was a clarification about it, but apparently that's what he wants. That being said, we'll continue.
thank you.
Mr. Connor will be taking the chair for Mr. Sample. Mr. Alden will be voting for his chair, for his seat. Okay, let's hear it.
Thank you again. Brad Bertolo, JC Engineering, here on behalf of the applicant. Just to recap, it's been about a month since we've had a full board present in the room, and we had 2 hearings prior to then, where we discussed a request for a variance for reduced zoning setback requirements for cluster development. The current zoning bylaw allows for lots to be reduced in size so that projects can be developed to maintain open space on the property. This project has been presented and approved a couple of years ago with the planning board. It is a 56-lot subdivision on 153 acres. We're preserving 75% of that, where the regulations state at least 50% need to be maintained. We're not here to discuss unit count. That's all approved. The only thing that we're here to discuss is the eventual development of these lots, where they range in size between 13,000 square feet, and some are a couple acres in size. 20% of the lots, 11 of them, are under 15,000 square feet, which could classify as a small lot under the zoning bylaw. I believe it's table 628, which allows zoning to be 20-10-10. The remaining lots are above the 15,000 square feet, where the current bylaw states, under cluster requirements, that the zoning that's applicable in that zoning district applies. Again, we've stated this before, when the zoning bylaw, or this cluster development bylaw was created, all the zoning setbacks in the town of Wareham, at least in the residential, were 20-10-10, front, side, and rear. In 2004, those changed or increased in this district, the R60 and R130, where 60 feet frontage, front setbacks are required. So we were requesting a variance to reduce that down to 20-10-10, or some other setback that this board may feel comfortable with. To give an overall, I guess, comparison, 90% of the lots in this development are under 30,000 square feet. 51 of the 56 lots. In R30 districts, they allow 20-10-10. So lots that are smaller than the R30 zoning district require a triple setback from the street. Again, we're trying to look out for future development. Once foundations are in, there's not going to be a capability to move structures should somebody want to improve the property in the future, a pool, shed, addition, that type of items. So we're just trying to make this development more convenient in the future for future property owners. And this is obviously not a, I guess, a variance that has never been issued or requested. We were involved with this very similar project subdivision that had the same situation. It was in the R130 district instead, but this board did did grant waivers or variance to reduce the setbacks for those smaller cluster lots. That's basically a summarization of what we're requesting to do. Peter can touch upon any of the legal aspects of it.
All right, before we go further, I do agree on the side setbacks, because I'm looking at your lots, they're all 100 feet, 105. I do agree with the sides to be 10 feet, but the front, it can be easily 30 feet plus instead of 20. That's cutting it short. 20 is too close to the road, not much of a front yard. Maybe if the board can come up with a decision that works for everybody, maybe like 30 feet, stretch it to 30, but you still have a good backyard. Even the lots that back to back, it still works. And I think that'll work fine with 30 or 35, but definitely the sides, you need that 10 feet for it works, because they're so narrow.
Yeah, a smaller setback would be great. Again, every portion of that structure requires that setback, steps, front porch, front stoop. So the foundations themselves will be, if 20 was granted, there'd be at least 26, 28, 30 feet back from the street.
Foundation,
The
no,
found-
we
but-
say in decks and everything.
Yeah, no, I was just letting you know, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the board is more comfortable with that, that's.
Well, we'll see what everybody thinks. That being said, we're gonna move to Connor. Connor, what do you think? You've been here, so you know all about it.
Yep. So I believe I stated this in a previous meeting, but I don't think that there's really any detriment to the area reducing the setbacks, and I don't think that there's a problem with that. I brought this up before too, but I would like to hear more about hardship. I know that there's a letter here in the file from, I wasn't sure if they were abutters, but if you guys could speak to that a little bit and the hardship.
Yeah, you know, at the last couple of hearings where we actually, you know, really opened the hearing, you know, we brought up some discussion about safety, and there's actually, and in my position that I stated, was that having kids, you know, playing more in the backyards than in the front yards made it safer for them. Made it easier for parents to keep an eye on them, kept kids out of traffic if the ball rolls into the street, that sort of thing. There is a case from 2017, Mass Appeals Court. The underlying case was Furlong versus the Salem Zoning Board of Appeals. And what it was a marina wanted to locate a building in a setback close to the water. And their reasoning for wanting to put the new building where they wanted to put it, was that if they adhered to the setback, then it would make it more difficult for the cradles that move the boats around to maneuver, to see people, so on and so forth. So they discussed safety. Now, safety is a matter of degree. I'm not saying that there's a case out there that is exactly on point for what I'm saying here in terms of, you know, the safety of children in yards, but there isn't a case, the flip side is there isn't a case out there saying that that doesn't matter. So we've got this case that's been there since 2017. It's been cited by many people to various zoning boards. I don't see that it's gone any further in the appellate structure of the Massachusetts courts. So it does stand for the notion that you can consider safety factors and that safety can be a hardship. Additionally, we've talked before that we have what we would call a hardship de jure, which is that this bylaw was created to do a certain thing. When the underlying zoning got changed, without going back and changing this, it created a legal hardship. So the act of increasing the setbacks runs counter to what the town had previously done. And it also, I think, flies a little bit in the face of, you know, what we are seeing in Massachusetts now with the encouragement of residential development. You know, to make it easier to build housing, to do it on better lots. They've even changed the name of the Department of Housing and Community Development to, what is it, the Department of Housing and Livable Communities, if I remember it correctly. So livability is a big factor here. You know, we were limited somewhat by the conditions of the lot, where much of it had been excavated down towards the pond. We intentionally pulled housing back away from that pond, both because we thought it was better environmentally, and we thought it was better, should there ever be a 500-year flood, we didn't want to have houses going up in any of those areas. And I know a 100-year flood is a more typical consideration, but, you know, that's what we say today. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with sea level change. Regardless of what you think of the causes are, that's a possibility. So we were sort of limited in terms of the land that we thought should be built on, and that's what led to this plan. So, you know, I've talked about the Furlong case. The other thing is, in terms of the impacts on the neighborhood that you brought up, you know, there's not going to be any diminished privacy here. There's no abutting people living next to this development. So wherever we put the houses isn't going to matter to the surrounding community. There's no loss of light or airflow. I mean, it's a huge property, so you can put the houses pretty much anywhere. You're not going to change things one way or the other. It's not going to increase traffic or safety. In fact, I think it's going to improve safety. And it's not going to change the neighborhood character. There's already subdivisions out there. We have an approved subdivision. These houses are going to go up. So it's not going to be detrimental to the neighborhood. So that's pretty much what I would have to say to your concerns.
Thank you.
Roy?
I agree with you, Mr. Chair. I think 30 feet frontage makes sense. 20 is way too close.
All right. Jimmy?
I'm looking at these, I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the plans, and a lot of times, on almost every plan, I see a little box with an arrow, and it says zoning setbacks, and in parentheses, TYP. What does that mean?
Typical.
Typical. So, is that in fact the 60 feet that's required right now, typical? Is that what is this drawn to where your feet have been held to a fire now, and you're asking?
That's what's
That's what
based
you
on-
have to build. If we say no tonight, this is what we get.
Correct.
And if we say, so this is showing 60-foot setbacks.
60 and 20 and 20. 60, 20, 20
60 and 20 on
and-
the side and
and
20 on the rear.
on the rear. Yep.
Okay, that's what I was, so, and you're suggesting
30,
30
10.
on the front, 10 on the side, 10 on the rear.
Yeah.
You're suggesting 30, 10, 10.
Right.
Sounds like fertilizer.
Well, for instance, the reason I'm saying this, if you say this lot, if you are to build a house, you have zero backyard. for
Yeah,
instance.
that's what I'm looking at it, and I just wonder, so
Look at this. It'll
this.
be zero backyard,
This
zero
right,
backyard.
from here to here right now is 60 feet.
Right.
From here to here right now is 20 feet, 20 feet, 20 feet. You're saying that this dotted line could go
Right.
much bigger.
Well, in this case,
The
you can't
potential-
put a house with two-car garage attached. It's too narrow. If you go, it's 100 feet minus
Yeah.
40. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
If you-
no.
If you put a ranch with a garage, it won't work. And there's basically no backyard left. So, you know, these backyard left, I mean, these works because they're big lots. And these, like these, the back-to-back, I mean, basically they're only like 30 feet, the houses away from each other, if they adhere to the existing ones.
So, are you suggesting, Mr. Chair, that we go 30, 10, 10 on all 56 lots, or on the ones that are, there's lots that, you're saying just do it blanket for the
Just
whole?
put a blanket, most likely on the big lots, they set them back, it's only 3 lots, I'm sure they set them back without, they'll probably do it 50 or 60 on those ones.
Those are my questions.
Chris?
So, this is a brand-new subdivision, cluster subdivision,
Right.
and it's a shame that they have to come for variances, and that these setbacks weren't taken into consideration when they developed the lot, is my opinion.
Okay.
It's a brand-new development, brand-new area. They shouldn't be coming in with any variances, any special permits, I think, and it should have been laid out to our zoning bylaws.
Well, I'm not speaking on their defense. They are, you mean with the 60,000 square feet, that's where it should have been done?
I think with each lot, they should have taken into consideration all the setbacks when they developed the lots, the size of the lots.
What Chris
and-
is saying
and
is
everything.
maybe less open space and larger lots overall.
Yeah.
Right, but however,
To
again, my opinion, don't mean nothing.
Means something.
Yeah. It's the way the bylaw is, like I said last time, it's set backwards. It should be coming to the zoning board first for, to approve a cluster. And then if you need a variance, it would be settled right there, then go back to planning board. It goes to planning board, they create a law. Now we have a law. Clearly, it's an approved law, it's recorded. Now you say they did their own hardship, but
Correct.
the town approved it. Now you have a law that the topo, the shape, the size of the lot, and I don't know if the type of soil matters, it creates a hardship. Now you said they created their own hardship, but the town helped them create it. Back in the day, like I said about 2 months ago, it used to be you go to zoning board, you get through this, like I said before, and there's an issue, you say, okay, don't even bother. Go back to regular subdivision. But unfortunately, that's how it is now.
The way, the process is flawed, is what,
I understand that. I understand we have what we have now.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it's a shame that this wasn't taken into consideration when they made all these lots.
Right. Let's be the devil's advocate.
So to
say
me-
they sell these lots. Let's say they sell these lots, and Joe Schmo buys a lot. It comes here. Can you tell him you created your own hardship? He bought an approved lot. It's recorded, everything. How can you tell him you created your own hardship? Do you understand what I'm...
I understand where you're going. I understand
You know what I'm saying?
what you're saying. I also think that some of these plans that they wrote up are kind of deceiving with the setbacks. This area here is where they can build a house. It's not that they're going to build a house within that whole dotted line. I mean, that house is not going to be that big,
Correct.
right? So if they come, closer to the setback, then the rear yards would be a lot bigger, right?
You're absolutely right.
On this. So I'm thinking that these are kind of deceiving, from what I can see, from my point of view. I think, I went out and measured my lot to
Right.
see how much distance I had in front of my house.
Okay.
And I think my house is kind of close to the road, and I'm 50 feet from the road.
All right.
I think 20 feet is definitely too close to the road. And I would go with a happy medium, probably 40, 15, 15,
40 feet.
40 feet.
Okay, that's
40,
enough.
10, 10, 10.
40, 15, 15.
You'd go 40, 15, 15.
That would be my preference.
Okay. 40 is good. To go back to the first question you said, again, I'm playing the devil's advocate. You said some lots they could build back, right? But here's the problem. Now, the lots they could build the house in the back, you'll see a house setting back 60 feet, and the house they can't, they'd be sitting 20 or 30 feet. So now you have houses everywhere. So we'd like to give up a guideline, so somehow aesthetically it look good. So they're all at 30 or at 40, instead of one being in the way in the back, one way in the front. So that's, you know what I'm saying? It just happened, when you do subdivisions, you can't make exactly, you're not in the Midwest that you could just take a big parcel and start cutting it, like cutting perfect pieces of cake. It happened in New England, the land is tough, so you have to play with what you have. Unfortunately. And then the 40 feet, we'll ask, we'll see what the board thinks. I think 40 would still work, 40, 10, 10. Regarding the 15, I don't think it'll work, Chris, personally, because everybody knows I'm a builder. On a 100-foot wide lot with a 15, you tight. Because you do a ranch that's 70 feet wide or 65, and you put a car garage another 24, so you're never gonna make it. You know what I'm saying?
Can I make a?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't forget, the setbacks are applied to everything, including sheds.
That's another thing.
That, so, you start 10 feet, if it's 10 feet, if I gotta keep my shed and my house 10 feet from the line, and my neighbor has to do the same, now we've got 20 feet. And, as much as more would be nicer, I understand what you're saying. These lots have been approved. It's not like we have an option of saying, go back to the drawing board and draw bigger lots. The developer's not gonna draw bigger lots. The planning board already gave him these lots. They're there. That's money in the bank. Where he puts the house on the lot is the only question at this point. And what they're saying to us is, if the house was a little closer to the street, there'd be more room in the backyard for a shed and a swing, maybe even a swimming pool, a small one.
If I may, this is also a private roadway for 56 house lots, and the traffic for just 56 house lots. Think I'm familiar with where Mr. Conti lives, which I think is on Route 28.
Yeah.
So you're comparing two different streets.
Right.
I understand, yes.
Yeah, it's a good point.
On a state highway, larger setbacks would be better. But again, this is a small cluster subdivision just for the
I was just
residents.
trying to get an idea.
Right, I
On my
understand.
house
We
and being
understand.
next to the road. I know my house is on a highway, and I understand the traffic there and everything. And this is a subdevelopment, I understand that. And I just think that 20-foot setback is way too small.
Now, keep in mind, this is a 50-foot layout road, so they'll only pave 24, so you have another 12 feet from each end. So although it is, let's say, 30 feet, it will look like 42, because that's the road, the layout is 50, but you actually pave 24.
It's 22 plus 1 foot on each side, so
Right,
yeah.
So 24, so you get an extra 12 feet. You don't own, but it looks like you
12
set
feet each side or 12 feet? 6 feet each side?
12 feet for each side.
Each side.
So each
Yeah.
lot will have an extra 12 feet. So if your house set back 30, it looks like 42. You know what I'm saying? So where you are at the, not that means anything, but on the highway where your house is, that highway layout is 70 feet. So you probably have 20 feet that you're using for the state. Kinda. But besides the point. You good, Chris?
I'm good.
For right now? Elizabeth?
Yep, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm just playing catch up, so with what you're saying, 40 feet, how many feet does that give the backyard?
Well, each lot is different. So, I mean, it depends how deep the
Hold
lots.
on.
It
Do we
depends
have
on
an
each
average?
lot.
Do we have an average? Ish?
Do you have an average?
Well,
Like how big of a backyard-ish will each family
If
have?
we grant a 40 or 30?
If we grant a 40 on
If a 40
average?
feet on the smallest lot, and you say you build a colonia that's 28 feet, or let's say you build a ranch. Sometimes a ranch you end up with 40, with massive bedroom, whatever.
Rough average.
So on the smallest lot, how much we have left in the back?
Well, if we're 40 feet and the house is, and deck, the footprint of the house depth-wise could be 40, 45 feet.
On the ranch and the deck?
Considering, and that's, you got front porch and front deck.
Are all of these houses getting back decks?
Oh, pretty much.
Oh, it's typical, yes.
Typical?
Yeah,
Okay.
don't have the lot width to.
Yeah, can't do the sides, really.
Sides, typically it's in the back, so.
Mhm.
Again, any reduction in the front increases the backyard by X amount. Again, most lots are,
I guess what I'm
Majority
trying,
will-
what I'm
yeah.
trying to say is with what Mr. Chair is saying, proposing 40, I guess 40-ish, 30, 40 feet.
Well, let me give you an example. Say lot 24, it's 130 feet deep. So we give them 40 feet of frontage, 40, and the house with a
Right.
house with 2 decks, a porch in the front, 6 feet, the house, a ranch,
Right.
38 feet, 36,
32
that's
foot, yeah,
42.
32
Then the
by-
12 feet in the back, you at 56, 58 feet. 58 feet minus 130, it keeps you, what, 60 feet in the back roughly?
For,
62 feet.
like you said, gardening, swing set, families most
Yeah.
likely,
Now you throw a shed,
right?
you're gonna lose, but it is what it is.
But it's reasonable to,
So 30 to 40, I think is reasonable. It will work.
Well,
But
Mr. Chair,
definitely
a reasonable
10
amount of
is
room
better.
for playing with your kids in the backyard.
Yep.
That's what we're thinking, right? Safety,
Yeah.
safety in
Yeah.
the front, party in the back.
something like that.
All right. Anyway, we state our
Well,
opinions.
the thing is, don't forget, the neighborhood's only gonna have 56 houses, so the
And
kids
it's
will
a-
be playing basketball on the street.
Right. And it's a private road. It's not high traffic.
I mean, we would certainly prefer 30, but
We'll see how it goes. Apparently, we're gonna listen to the neighbors, and there's a bunch of letters
Is this,
here.
we're down to setbacks. That's what
That's the whole variance is.
this whole conversation is
It's
about.
about setbacks.
What's the setbacks? The
Correct.
lots exist, the lots are gonna be built, it's where they're gonna put the house on the lot. I think you made a good point about the 12 more feet, that
It's unpaid.
isn't being considered. I think Mr. Conti made a good, pointed out some good points. I personally could live with 30, 10, 10. If I'm gonna make a motion, it's gonna be for 30, 10, 10, and you guys can either amend it or vote it down and make a new motion.
All right. Very well. I'm gonna move to the public. Who's here in favor of this project?
Somebody put their hand up
No,
there.
that's not, she's not in favor, I know that. Okay, no one here. Who's against? Ma'am? Yes, come forward.
John, you got anybody waving at you on Zoom?
Not at this time. Oh, I just have one that just.
Now, Miss, your name and address?
Annie Hayes, Farmers Lane.
All right. Annie, just, do you understand what they're here for?
I do.
Right.
I do.
So,
And I'm.
the birds, the trees, the traffic.
No.
do you
I have a
understand?
lot more capacity in my brain than just
I'm sure
birds
you
and
do. I
trees.
see, I heard you
But I
talking,
love
but
them.
sometimes it gets confusing. All right, let's
It
hear
is confusing because the neighborhood hasn't been impacted. Well, it has. It's turned into about 240 people perhaps, maximum, in what was a pristine environment with an egret rookery, and there was a lot of pushback on this development. So that is a point. I have two issues. One is that this looks like permitting in reverse. If the builder, who was also the owner, in my understanding, wanted to have the right kind of neighborhood with the right kind of front and backyards, then he wouldn't have put 56 houses on 28 acres. And so, all by design. Puts it in front of the planning board, deals with all the pushback, gets it in because of the compliance with the cluster development bylaw from, I understand, 2019, and then comes here and says, no, that's not going to work. And I don't think that's proper. The other thing is that Mr. Churchill, in September, was made a member of the Zoning Bylaw Review Committee. And if you're on the Bylaw Review Committee, and the bylaw is going to come up to discuss this cluster development bylaw, it seems to me a conflict of interest, to say the least, to be doing a public service as a member of a committee and making, I don't do sports analogies well, but an end run, I would say, and say, no, I'm not going to comply, even though I'm on the review committee, and it should come up before the town for the public to comment on and vote upon. So I am very disturbed about that, and I think that would like you to, I know I would like you to take that into consideration. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Just briefly to the point about the planning board, when we were before them, we made it quite clear that due to the change in the zoning bylaw, and it was, I think, in 2006 when they established different setbacks for the different zoning districts, that we would be coming here. So they were aware of this when they did issue the permits. And there was no discussion about, well, go do bigger lots or anything like that. So, I mean, they were aware of it. They knew that this was going to be a two-jurisdiction project at the end of the day, and they approved their part of it.
All right, just to, about the review committee, Mrs. Hayes mentioned, the town always welcome volunteers to be on these boards. I mean, all of us volunteers, the planning, conservation, historical, the review committees, everybody's welcome to do their inputs, and definitely the town will be more than welcoming an engineer that knows how to develop. Now, whatever he does in the future is not going to impact the subdivision. Not to mention, we have discussed this many times to change the setbacks. We did discuss the setbacks prior the subdivision was issued. We have discussed the setbacks over and over for like 3-4 years to change the setbacks because they're not right. But, I mean, you could be in the review committees as well, and I really appreciate Mr. Churchill being and volunteer to be in it because we'd like more people who are professional that can be on the committee. That's all what I could say on this. But that being said, it is what I guess, I don't know what to say. Anyone else against?
Anybody else, period?
Online? Yeah. Who's online? Mrs. Julie Barry.
If Mr. Barry or Julie, Mr. or Mrs. or whoever, Julie Barry, with your hand up, if you're trying to speak, you have to turn your microphone on.
I'm working on it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for your time, Chair and members of the board. And certainly I speak, I think, for everyone in that we appreciate the volunteer efforts and time that all town members of town boards put in and how much of an effort it is. And we know that it wouldn't happen without the efforts of folks that were willing to do these things for no money. And so we're very appreciative of your efforts. And we're also appreciative of your ability to consider this without bias, we hope, in that really the issue is simple. It's whether the requested relief from the front yard setback is supported for a variance under the State Zoning Act. And there hasn't been any information presented that shows that it's because of the shape of the lot, the soil conditions at the lot, which is a consideration, or the topography on the lot that is different from other lots in that same area, and that as a result, hardship will follow. And you had a question, Chair, about hardship. I didn't actually hear an answer to that. What I've heard is that there's concerns about pedos driving this street, the same street that we've just heard is supposed to be private and quiet enough, and it's not going to be an issue. We agree with Mr. Conti's comments. The issue is self-created. When the project went to the planning board, this discrepancy with the bylaw had already been there, and yet it's only being raised now as some sort of de jure reason for granting the requested variance. But you just said yourself, you've been talking about setback issues for years. Where's the urgency now? The project was designed with those setback issues out there, extant and available to be addressed at the time. All of the zoning relief could have been obtained by the planning board if the planning board had held the cluster development to the number of lots that would fit if it were required to comply with the setbacks. So the second thoughts now are not a basis for granting a variance, safety in the streets is not a basis for granting a variance. And I'm speaking, to be clear, on behalf of my client, Eagle Holt. As you know, I've written a letter as well, and we have significant concerns about what's going to happen with these lots if these variances are granted. We already have a dispute with the owner of the lot concerning certain easements of ours within this subdivision project that may very well be impacted as a result of changes made here. So we appreciate your time. Again, I do think it's important to acknowledge and respect all positions, including the significant environmental positions that were raised by the previous speaker, who is obviously interested in what has happened and great changes in this neighborhood and has every right for her opinion about these conservation issues to be heard by the commission. But thank you for your time. We respectfully request that you deny this. If 30, 15, 15, 40, 15, 15, whatever, there is no evidence that this project has complied with the requirements for granting a variance. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Go ahead. Mrs. Aroni, she's not a voting member, but she can excuse herself for 15 minutes. So we'll continue. All right. Your answer, Councilor.
Well, I mean, it's true, we are in litigation with the abutting cranberry grower, whom Attorney Barry represents. The interesting thing, though, is part of the claims that are involved relate to sand rights across a couple of the lots. And interestingly enough, if you allow us to move pull the houses forward, it pulls them further away from where we believe their sand rights are. So it actually, you know, to the extent that they feel there's a conflict with their rights, it actually pulls the houses further away from where we believe they have their rights. But, you know, other than that, you know, these zoning board decisions get appealed all the time. And again, the interesting thing here with this one is that, you know, notwithstanding whether this, you know, a safety hardship could be claimed here, no court has ruled that it couldn't. So if somebody wishes to appeal and bring that up and say to a judge they don't think these are credible concerns, they're certainly welcome to do that. I also don't believe, as an abutter, you know, people have the right, a presumptive right, to be an aggrieved party under the State Zoning Act. In this instance, we don't see how Eagle Holt, in any subsequent appeal, could claim to be aggrieved. Where these houses are doesn't impact their cranberry operations. Where these houses are doesn't impact airflow one way or the other. You know, it doesn't create any impacts upon their property at all. You know, beyond what may happen to a couple of lots in the court decision. So, you know, granted, people can appeal. We understand you get appealed frequently. Someday I may even appeal you, but, you know, for now, I think we've stated enough of a hardship. I think we've talked about the de jure hardship created by the sort of feckless way in which the zoning bylaw had been amended, and we're just trying to put together a good neighborhood here.
All right, very well. Anyone else from the public want to speak? Ms. Hayes, you want to speak more? Yeah, come forward. No, you good? Anyone online?
He's got one? Okay, go ahead. iPad 2.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Matt Beaton, president of Eagle Hold Company. And what Councilor Titlebaum failed to mention is those house lots deny us access to our water easement from Whitehead's Pond. So that is a huge part. We have an easement there, and within that easement is the ability to access it for repair and maintenance. And with those house lots where they're situated, we do not have that access now.
Excuse me.
What's the name?
This is iPad 2.
What was your name, sir?
It's a
Matt Beaton from Eagle Hold
yes,
Company.
Yes, Matt. Yes, thank you.
So my comment on that is whether the house is 20 feet from the street, 60 feet from the street, or 300 feet from the street, it's not gonna, that's got to do with the creation of the lot, not the setbacks. The setbacks are moot. So we're here, this board is hearing an application regarding setbacks, not whether the lots are created properly, improperly, or blocking somebody's easements. That's a civil matter that's not for this board.
I'd like to add too, Mr. B, and whether we grant a variance or we don't, if you have rights in there, and you come, and the court grants you right throughout the lots, the builder cannot build on it. He will never get a title insurance, he will never get a building permit, so it's irrelevant.
It's moot.
It's moot, exactly.
It's moot to this application.
Plus, it's a civil matter you gotta take to court, and it has nothing to do with us. All right, anything
Very well.
else, Mr. Bean?
No, we will address that, I guess, at a later date.
Correct. Thank you. Who else like to bring?
John, you got anybody else online?
Not at this time.
Anybody else in the room?
Oh, Julie Bear, just raise your hand for a second time.
Somebody's putting their hand back up, put it
Good.
back on.
Julie, again.
I forgot to tell you. Go ahead, Julie. She's not, okay.
Thank you. I just got the muted thing. I just wanted to just follow up on what Mr. Beaton said, because it is relevant to this board's consideration, not of whether it's entitled to a variance, but if we're talking about what this project is and whether it is impacting Eagle Holt's rights. Eagle Holt obtained a lis pendens on this property. There was already recorded notice to any potential buyers that this property is the subject of litigation. So that's a relevant fact. If it's going to come up in the context of litigation, as it was raised earlier, and then just put it in there for the facts before the board. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, anyone else, guys?
You got somebody waving at you. I think she thinks you're cute. In the back of the room.
Oh, yes. That's Ms. Hayes.
Annie Hayes, Farmers Lane. I wanted to read what's on the town website for the bylaw review committee, so people understand.
Point of order, this has nothing to do with this.
All right.
This is completely independent. Okay,
right.
she's worried about
Okay.
conflict of interest. Is she complaining about other engineers that
Time
are
out.
on that same committee?
You haven't
that
been
present-
recognized.
Time out, time
You haven't been
out.
rec-
So you point, we have, ma'am, time out. So we have a point of order. I need a motion to go further with the point of order, what Mr. Bartello said. Can somebody have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion to stop the discussion that Mrs. Hayes, to agree with the motion, to agree with the point of order with Mr. Bartello. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Second with Troy. So if that goes forward, you cannot go forward with your, we gotta come up
Understand.
with something else, okay? All in favor, say aye. Connor Alden.
Aye.
Troy Larson.
Aye.
Jim
Jim,
Akabachi.
aye.
Chris Conti.
Aye.
And myself, aye. Change your, you can talk something else, so it carries. His point of order carries. You can't.
I
you
can't mention anything about it, even if it's explaining something that I've said previously, and that you said
You
about...
gotta come up with something different.
We've already heard you once, so you're gonna repeat yourself, or do you have something new?
Excuse me,
new- do you
I've
have
Time
been
new
out.
asked a
information to
question.
offer?
Jim,
I've
time
been
out.
asked a question.
Time out.
And I was responding to what the chair had said about
Anything that Mr. Bartello complained about, that you
Okay.
bring it. So you
All
gotta, you could talk about something else.
I wanted to respond to something you said, but it sounds like perhaps
I
that-
said about the review committee.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we agreed not to
Okay,
talk about it.
that's fine.
Thank you. That's how it was voted, thank you. All right, anyone else? That being said, this is where we are, so board member, so you heard what the argument of the hardship or the statutory requirement of 40B, of 40A, section 10, right? 40A, section 10, that Councilor Teitelbaum explained. So if you guys agree with the statutory requirement that he explained, the uniqueness, the hardship, and other stuff, if you say yes, and you agree on the setback, it carries. So whoever has a motion, want to come up with a motion and state the setback size.
My first motion would be to close the public portion of this hearing.
All right, good call.
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And myself, Nazir Kalasi, aye. It's closed. Closed for the
Okay,
public.
so I'll make a motion that we grant relief to the applicant in the form of a variance that would include setbacks to be altered for this project to 30 feet from the front, 20 feet from both sides, 10 feet from both sides, and 10 feet from the rear.
And that's a blanket.
30, 10, 10.
And that's a blanket variance for all 54 lots. So this is
Mr. Chairman.
56 lots. So that's the motion that Mr. Akabachi coming up with. Is there a second on that?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Connor?
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Troy Larson said aye. Jim?
Aye.
Just state your name because...
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, nay.
And Elizabeth Pant, you can't vote on this. And Nazir Al-Khalasi is aye. So it carries 4-1-0 with Chris, no.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, for the time you put into this. We're appreciative.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, continue public hearing, 2640-43, 9 Union Street. Who's here for 9 Union Street?
Do we have anything out on Hidden Trails?
My lawyer's here, he stepped outside.
Oh, he's outside?
Men's room.
Ah, okay.
We gotta get Rich back too, don't we?
Is anything Hidden Trails, Hidden Trails? This is Hidden Trails. Hidden Trails.
Gonna bring Rich back?
Roy Rogers
Yeah.
and Dale
Is
Evans.
he alive? Do you know what he is?
Happy Trails.
He's in the hallway.
Hidden Trails.
Oh, here he is.
Just for the record, I stepped out, but Mr. Akalasky recused himself on the last meeting that he was here, and he sat right here in this room and made comments. So I did what I was supposed to. I'm just letting you know.
No, Chris, this is a bad attitude. Listen. I said I did mention you have the right to stay here. You choose to leave.
He
So
told me to leave.
you can't, excuse me?
I said I was asked to leave, so I left. I didn't hear you tell me to come back in.
Well, you didn't have a chance, so I don't appreciate the attitude for everybody in here. Okay, 9 Union Street, 26-43. Where are we with this?
We're continued Union Street. They're looking for, here we go.
Pass these.
Huh?
I said pass these.
I think this is.
You have enough?
Well, more, yeah, I got them all. I got plenty.
There's enough here.
I have enough.
I have.
I don't know what this is, Schneider and Associates. Schreier. I think this is just a bunch of copies of the same thing.
They get somebody in favor.
What's that?
Somebody in favor.
Yeah. It's just extra copies. I'm just trying to get what's relevant.
All right, Counselor. Where were we?
Good evening,
Public
Mr.
hearing.
Chairman.
How are you?
My name is Bill Sims. I'm representing the petitioner here, Mr. Paul Matos. As I recall from the last hearing, there were no concerns from the board or from the public. It was...
Just a moment.
1 second. Were you here with this?
Let me see.
No,
opened
Mr.
this as-
Yakabuchi, you
I opened
handled
it.
the chair seat that evening.
All right, who sat on the case, Mr. Alden or Elizabeth?
I believe everybody else, I'm not sure.
Everybody else sat on it.
Everybody else sat on it.
So, Jim, you continue with this, and you gotta pick a voting member. I sit down and listen, but I
Understood.
can't vote
Yeah.
on it because I didn't review the minutes.
I
Sorry.
understand.
And Connie, you're gonna be the voting member.
I would do it. We alternate. Usually we do Elizabeth. We just did him before.
Would you prefer Elizabeth?
Well, we usually alternate so
Okay.
that everybody has a chance.
Connie, you're fired.
So Elizabeth, you hired. All right, go ahead.
As I
Go ahead.
started, I believe at the last hearing, there were no concerns or issues presented by any members of the board. The only issue was that I believe Mr. Semple wanted to view the property, and that's the reason for the continuance, was that he had an opportunity to go look at the site and make a determination as to whether or not the petition was reasonable or had concerns about it. Other than that, I heard no public concern, no issues from the board about the plans presented. So in sparing the board time, I will not represent everything that was there before, but if questions come up, Mr. Dana Ward, who is the builder here, can address any questions concerning the very limited construction on the exterior of the building. Other than that, I'll just leave it to the board for questions or further discussion.
Anybody on the board have any questions?
I do, sir.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at the plans that are proposed to us. I see the setbacks, I see the dimensions of the lot, but I also see a set of stairs that is coming down to the rear of the lot. Has no dimension on it.
I'll ask Mr. Ward to address that. He drafted the plans.
I think that's an existing set of stairs.
Before you start speaking, just go to the microphone, say who you are, sit down, say who you are, and,
Dana Ward contractor.
okay.
I think it's an existing set of stairs that are already there.
I know, the house is an existing structure, and it has dimensions on it. I just don't understand why it doesn't have it. You're saying it doesn't have to?
No, it's not something we've added, so it's something, I mean, if you, I mean, the plan is to scale, so, I mean, just an oversight.
This plan's to scale?
The plan that I'm looking at, it says proposed deck and stairs.
We added a deck up, there's a landing at the top to meet the code, but there's already a set of stairs there, which we were gonna upgrade, but it's not,
It specifically states here, proposed deck and stairs. There's a line going to the deck, and that stairs are connected to the deck.
Talking about the back deck, sir.
yes, I'm looking at it. There is a set of stairs that goes up to that back, so they're only being changed to be the code.
Your point is that the stairs are not within the setbacks, is that correct?
There's no dimension. Isn't
Oh,
there supposed to be a dimension?
The stair to the property line.
And it says proposed. It doesn't say existing. If it said existing, then it would be existing. That's my only question. I'm not trying to get into it or anything. I just don't understand on a stamped set of plans why there wouldn't be some kind of a figure there. If it's a proposed set of deck and set of stairs.
Well, the deck is shown to be 10'6", in the corner of the house, the corner that is 5.3 is to the corner of the house. So the stairs, it doesn't have a dimension to the stairs.
Thank you.
But I don't know if on the construction drawings, if there's a set of, if there's dimensions on the construction drawings.
Do we have a construction drawing here, is this it?
Board should have that. I'm not sure I have a reduced copy in my file, but
I don't think they're showing here either, but I'm gonna check. gonna let Richard see them too, because, you wanna pass this down to him? I don't believe it's showing I think it's the same as this. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're after. And yeah. So we have two issues here, right? One is the setbacks, because they're increasing in nonconformity.
Be special permit,
That would be special
if
permit.
the board feels. not
But you're also asking for a variance on two-family, correct? From one family to two-family.
I think our position on that is that everything should be covered by the special permit provisions of the Wareham zoning bylaw, as the proposed use is consistent with the purpose and intent of the district, that there are adequate facilities and safe, there's no nuisance or adverse effect upon the neighborhood. It doesn't negatively impact the existing neighborhood in any way, and under the section 1352, any alteration or extension after finding that the alteration or extension will not substantially be more detrimental than to the neighborhood than the existing nonconformity would fall under the special permit provision, as the structure will be in the same footprint. Arguments could be made theoretically about crossing the line to the variance, but I believe that the two stairwells fall within the special permit provision of the zoning bylaw.
So you're in Onset Village 2. And our zoning bylaw, does our zoning bylaw provide for multifamilies in Onset Village 2?
I believe it does. I don't have that particular map and lot number in the zoning district, but I believe it does. Everything in that neighborhood is multifamily, whether it be pre-existing, non-conforming, or whether modified, but everything in that entire neighborhood is multifamily.
I happen to know somebody that lives 2 houses down, and it's not a multifamily.
Might be the only one.
Yeah. Well, see, the building inspector's letter states that the lot is 6,200 feet shy of being appropriate for a multifamily, so you got a problem on that right there. You'd need a variance for lot area coverage, and I don't think any of that is mentioned in the public notice.
I believe we
Table
checked all the boxes.
2, Article 13, we're not looking at FAR, we're looking at FAR as well now. Correct?
I think the application submitted covered both in the event that the board decided that a variance was needed in addition to the special permit. We checked both boxes, so our application and the public notice is appropriate.
What'd you see when you went out there, Richard? What did you get, no, I don't think anybody else has been to the site other than you.
Well, it's just an onset house. It's got,
What's that?
I said it's an onset house that's pushed its boundaries all the way out, and because it was built in back in the day before the zoning bylaws.
And this was originally a two-family, wasn't it?
Was it originally a two-family?
I believe it was.
It was. It was. Mr. Maddo's family purchased this back in give me a second here, 1964, at which time it was a two-family. They converted one of the units to expand for the family, and all we're doing at this point now is asking to put it back to its original condition so that Mr. Maddo's can provide housing for his sister, and there is no issue with parking. He's expanded his driveway. As was noted at the last meeting, there's plenty of parking off-street for everybody, and it's just himself that resides there and will be his sister in the other unit. Most or all of the work is just going to be interior. The only thing we're asking in this board for is relief for the 2 stairwells on the exterior for exit and entrance.
Well, the building commissioner sent a letter telling you that the relief you need is a special permit for front setback, a special permit for side setback, a special permit for rear setback, and a variance for lot area, because it's going to become a 2-family, so that would require a variance. Your lot area is sufficient, it falls shy of sufficient by 6,250 square feet, according to this letter. So you do need a variance for the lot area, and you need special permits for front, side, and rear setbacks. That's what's been determined in writing.
I understand.
And sent to you.
And I'm not going to get into a substantial...
So I turn to the board and say, well, first of all, did we ever hear from the public? Was there anybody here from the public? And the butter, the neighbor, the guy behind you, beside you? Anybody online? John? Okay. Somebody's waving? You're not as cute as the girl that was waving at us. State your name and...
My name's Bob Driscoll, and I've been a neighbor of Paul and his family for 11 years, and I have no problem whatsoever if he changes it back to a 2-family.
You're a neighbor, are you an abutting neighbor, or?
Beside him, yeah.
Right beside him?
Number 7.
Okay. Do you know if you're on the side that's got the decks and the proposed landing, or are you on the other side?
On this side, right?
If you're facing us, I'm to the right, so that's the
If
opposite.
you face you to the right, okay. So you're on the driveway side?
Yes, I'm on driveway side.
And the person that's on the non-driveway side isn't here saying nay, from what I can see. That's all right, I'm not asking, I'm just making it as a comment. I wasn't asking for you guys to confirm it. But you're the abutter on
Yes.
one side?
Yes.
You'd be okay with it?
Yes.
And the people behind that are the abutter to the rear, they're not here, from what I can see either, because nobody else is waving at me, and there's nobody online. What is it, John?
I have one online.
Okay, we have one online, so thank you for your comments, sir. Let's see what the people online have to say. Go ahead, John, put them on.
Hi, this is Patrick Sheehan. I'm at 3 Union Street. I've been here since 2017, and neighbor of Paul's, and I have no problem at all with this turning back into a 2-family.
Okay, and you're in a butter as well, sir?
Again, I'm at 3 Union Street, so I don't directly abut him, but a couple of houses down.
Okay, you're a neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Nope. Just, wishing Paul well.
Okay, thank you for your comments, sir.
You're welcome.
Wait a minute, we got a question for you.
Sure.
Why, not to the person on Zoom, why don't you go for ADU so you could
Thank you,
avoid
sir.
that variance?
Well, I mean, I understand the differences between the ADU requirements and the special permit and variance requirements. If granted, this would make the project much easier than having to go ADU. I'd have to measure out the square footage, check out the percentage to the main unit, make sure that it complies with the ADU requirements of being, 900 square feet or less than X percent of the main unit. This was filed at some time ago, so I think it fits the requirements for both the special permit and, if deemed by the board, the the variance relief. So that would be the ideal opportunity for us. I don't want to fall back on that, but it's available, obviously, as the board well knows, if we need to go that route, if for some reason we get denied. I've heard nothing but support from abutters. Last hearing, another abutter appeared and was supportive of this petition. So I would...
We get letters in the folder as well in support.
But ADUs are like,
I see a problem with the ADU.
the ADU is the perfect example for a place like this. That would fit perfect.
I haven't had the time to expend on determining the relative importance or the composition of how the ADU would work for this particular project. So at this point, we're asking the board for the required relief for the special permit and the variance. We've got no opposition. This is a property that fits in the existing neighborhood with everything except for the one property that was identified as being a single. Everything on both sides of the street, front and back, are all multi. This was originally multi, so I think it's appropriate that Mr. Matos be allowed to just convert it back, and all we're asking for are the two stairwells on the exterior. All the rest is the interior work and just conforming it back to what it was back in 1964.
It was in 64, 2 families?
It was.
But that's an abandonment, but that's for not me.
So here's my 2 cents on the ADU, Naz. Pretty sure the ADU rules are 950 or 50% of the primary dwelling. So if it's footprint over footprint, if it's over and under, that means one of them is going to have to be half the size of the other. And right now, they're both the same size. So that wouldn't work as an ADU.
Correct.
Follow what I'm saying? If downstairs is 800 feet.
I know exactly.
Up can only be 400.
What you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. It's got to be 900 maximum and 50% of the top. But looking at the roof line, keep in mind if it's the roof line is low, below 5 feet, it won't be used as living spaces. It won't be counted. But that's something your architect gonna have to figure out.
Well, if the board determines that they don't want to grant the relief that's requested, if we grant the relief that's requested, they're off and running. Connor, Troy, you're voting on this one. Do you have any comments or questions?
I do not.
Chris?
No questions.
Okay. Richard?
So this is going back to a two-family, it's gonna stay two-family?
If we grant them 3 special permits, front, side, and rear setbacks, and 1 variance for lot area, turn it back into a two-family, then it's a two-family until it's abandoned.
So I'm just trying to make sure, because I've been speaking with the building commissioner, and he's been saying there's been a lot of lying going on to us, and I just don't want to be lied to again. So I'm just asking the questions. Is it two-family, and it's going to be only a two-family?
Lying going on in relation to this?
Well, what they come to the building inspector, and they say one thing, and they say another thing when they're in front of us.
I would only address that by
So-
saying this property has been in the family since 1964. There are no plans to convert it to anything other than a two-family. The purpose of this petition before you is to restore it to the two-family, to make room for his 70-something-year-old sister's occupancy, and that's it. There's no plans to sell, redesign, convert, or anything other than a two-family. And Mr. Manos is going nowhere, so I can suggest and represent to this board, it will be a two-family and nothing more.
Does it currently have a kitchen upstairs?
That I don't know.
Did they take all of that out when they made it a
There's not a
one-family?
kitchen upstairs
No.
currently, no.
So you'd be putting one in.
Yes.
So,
There was an area where the kitchen used to be, and the pipe's still there and such, but it's not It's not utilized as that.
Yeah, but there's no stove and no refrigerator up there right now. Is there a sink?
There's a sink that was converted to a bathroom. I don't believe there's a
Okay. Yeah, so
sink.
the kitchen was removed, yeah, I got it. So, what's in front of us is the deck, the landing, and the stairs. The deck and the landing are pre-existing, they're continuations of non-conforming, because the house setback is 2 feet, I don't even know what the heck the setback is from the side, because I see numbers here, but I don't know what they... Looks like the place is only 2.5 feet from the property line, is that right? 2.4 feet, what's that?
2.4 feet, yes.
So so the existing house is 2.4 feet from the property line right now?
Yes.
And you're gonna extend that to the front and to the rear with a landing and a deck?
Well, currently there's a roof over the top of that, under that deck. Okay, so the deck that's showing 2.4 feet is a roof. There's a room on that position there. So that's not a new deck, that's just a deck going over existing roof.
So on this plan that's in front of us, it says proposed.
Well, we're proposed,
But you're saying it's existing?
there's a deck going on top of an existing room, so that 2.4 that deck is a proposed deck going on top of that roof of a room below.
The roof is gonna turn into a deck?
Correct.
So it's not, okay.
Not further encroaching.
It's not,
Not
No,
further
I know
encroaching.
it's not further it's, you're continuing it along, it's already it's already a roof there, and you're gonna take the shingles off the roof and make
Right.
it flat and make it a
Right.
deck.
That's all.
I get that one, but this plan doesn't show it that way. And then on the front one, proposed landing and stairs, that's not existing at all at this point?
no, there's a room underneath that, same thing, it's a landing going on top of existing.
Okay. So,
The only thing that's being added is that stairway.
the front stairway.
Correct.
That's it.
And down below right now, is there a door that goes out where that stairwell is going?
There's a window underneath, there's not a
The
door.
window?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think, I know we have this plan here. Mr. Semple, would you like to see this big plan?
I'm good.
You good? How do you feel about the appropriateness of the deck and the landing?
I was confused because it says proposed, and when it's proposed, that means it's not existing.
Yeah, I know, that's...
I don't know.
How do
You
you
come in
feel
with a
about- how do you
stamp plan,
feel-
they come in with a stamp plan, the plan doesn't have a dimension on it, it's proposed, I don't know. We've been looking at plans for a long time here. Proposed and existing are two
Well, I'm
different
asking,
things.
you're good now, you don't need to see this now?
I just wanted, I
It's
wanted
been
to know why.
explained. So you feel as though you've got enough knowledge now to vote?
Yep.
Whether you're in favor or against isn't my question,
Mm-hmm.
question, okay. So you feel as though all right, what about you? Do you feel like you got the picture yet?
I do, but I'll take a quick look at those.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can take them down and open them right up, and I'd rather have everybody, because I'm looking at the commissioner's letter, and the commissioner's letter says you need special permit for the setbacks, and I agree with him. And he says you need a variance for it to become a two-family, and I agree with that as well, because the use was abandoned. I've heard 1964, and I've heard But it's certainly been more than 2 years since it was a two-family, and that becomes abandoned, so we're gonna have to grant a variance for it to become a two-family again, or it can't happen. Is that about right? Yeah.
See what you're saying. There's something sneaky going on.
I
I would simply suggest
let these guys, go
to the
ahead.
board that if there are concerns about the differentiation between existing and proposed, that if the board is inclined to issue the requested relief, that they condition upon the plans being submitted with proposed and existing, and that, so there's clarification, so that there's no misunderstanding about what is being done here with the 2 stairwells and the location, and I wasn't...
I'm pretty sure I know what's going on.
I see what's going on, but these two plans don't really, they don't match. There's a little discrepancy with the stairs.
Correct.
Right, there's, the one on the smaller one, looks like the stairs extend past the line of the house. On this plan here, the stairs do not extend past the line of the house. So there's a discrepancy on,
So he's saying this, yeah, on the drawn plans, it finishes right even with the end of the house.
No, it doesn't.
On the, this is proposed that it's gonna come first.
And existing is where?
Existing, the plan, the construction plan shows this ending right here. The stair ending right there. That's what the engineer, when he did the layout, extended it further. So that it's closer to the lot line.
So which one's it gonna be? Is it gonna be this or that?
Well,
It's proposed.
it's proposed, so it's, you know, if we have to be at that point, then we see, to calculations to have the proper landing at the top and the amount of stairs, there may be, you know,
See, the thing is, we have a stamped plan by a civil engineer, Mr. Hood.
yes.
And when we look at it, our eyeballs were saying it's different from that drawn plan over there.
But he's the engineer stamping it, so that's what we gotta go by.
Oh, good, then go have them draw it with some figures on it, because the numbers aren't on here. I'd suggest a continuance until they bring back better plans.
Can I just request from the board that we know exactly what the chair is requesting, so we can go
Well-
back to the engineer and say, we want to see this, this,
We
or
have a
this?
set of plans, we have 2 sets of plans that don't agree, but this is the one that has a stamp on it, and the one with a stamp on it doesn't show the setback from the back property line to the bottom of the stairs. It doesn't show the setback from the sideline to the side of the stairs. It doesn't show the setback from the house to the property line. There's some references here, but they're pointing to property lines, they're not pointing to the house. The plan is impossible to read with certainty.
So you'd like the revised plan with the exact dimensions on it for an as-built? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, well, not an as-built,
Well,
to-be-built.
as proposed,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, but I understand Mr. Semple's point, I didn't, and when you look at this, the numbers, they're not showing, and it's a very small lot. And we just don't want to open ourselves up to how come. I know what Union Street's like. I know that there's a lot of 2 families over there. I know that a lot of people have properties just like this. They've put the second kitchen in, and they haven't come and said, may I, and they exist, but you said, may I.
and so also the access to the second floor is all from outside, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
So, in all respect, I think we need a continuation and let this plan, let Mr. Hood's plan be you know, clearer. Would that help you?
Well, there's discrepancies, right? We don't know how far they're asking for the variance, how close it is to the back with the stairs. There's discrepancies whether it's proposed or whether it's existing stairs. So I would prefer continuance with updated plans.
Do we have that in the form of a motion?
Sure.
So moved?
So moved.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Continue to when?
Second.
Okay, so we've got a motion in front of us to continue until the 24th of June, and it's been seconded
Richard Semple,
by
second.
Mr. Semple, and we're suggesting to you that you go get this so that so it's all, no matter what the question is, it's written on here.
So I'm going to go back to the engineer, and I'm going to have him give you the setbacks from all these positions.
Correct.
And that's going to be satisfactory to you
Can't
guys.
tell you whether it's going to be satisfactory
Well,
or
no,
not.
but if those are all dimensioned off, then we can make a decision from
Can't
that.
promise, we can make a decision if we have the numbers to make a decision from.
I understand.
But we
I
can't
understand.
promise
If
what the
there's-
decision's going to be until we see the numbers.
So we will have a revised plan with the detailed
Yeah, thank you.
setbacks that the board is looking for prior to the June 24th meeting, and hopefully that will,
Been moved and seconded.
Existing versus proposed.
Yes.
gotcha. Thank you.
Connor,
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
what is it? Aye?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Richard,
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
and you're not voting. Okay, so we've continued to the 24th.
Thank you.
Try to get that redrawn for us. In the meantime, if you want to look at the folder, look at the movies. You can,
All right, we're gonna continue to 26-17, Route 25. And that's special permit site plan review. Who's here for that?
Under West Street.
West Street is before.
West Street?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You can come forward anyway.
Yeah.
31-25, 4 West Street. So they requested continuance?
He's all mine.
All right.
John, can you promote Dean Harrison?
Waivers for this?
we don't have anything here
No,
on
they
West
continue.
Street, right?
Well, they're requesting a continuance.
They're requesting to continue to the 24th.
It's, yeah.
That's all it is they're all here to request the continuance.
Two different things.
Oh,
No, they're not here. That's
This is 025 for the
Yes,
solar
sir. Name
field.
and address, please.
You're muted.
Dean, you're muted.
Unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. This is Dean Harrison, 59 Lockwood Ave, Attleboro, Massachusetts. Mr. Chairman, as Josh mentioned, we're here for a continuance until the 24th. We had hoped to give the peer reviewer more time for his review. We got the plans in late to him last week, and we felt that obviously was not fair to give him only a few days of review. So we're requesting that we continue this into June 24th.
All right. Deadline decision. What's the deadline decision on that? Or Josh, remember we discussed this?
Yeah,
We
Dean,
don't
I
see
think you're
them
gonna
on
have
that
to give us
paper.
another extension on the decision.
We gonna, Josh, remember we asked to have the deadline decisions on those?
Stable, yeah,
They're working on it?
yeah.
All right, we need an extension on deadline decision until,
30 days past whatever works.
let's say for July 23rd.
Okay, I will make it up to July 23rd.
Okay, so granted. So, all right, can we get a motion to continue for West Street till June 24th?
So moved.
So do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And myself, Nazir Kalasi, I carries. So June 24. Very well. Moving to 26-17, Route 25, site plan review, special permit for site plan review. All right, so I wasn't here. That was open last time?
We
This
haven't,
new?
we haven't seen Route 25 while you were gone.
Oh, why it's in continued public hearing?
They had to re-advertise this one, I believe, right?
Right, you opened it at your last hearing, but there were concerns about the advertisement, so it was a request on the applicant to re-advertise.
Oh,
So
okay.
it is a continued public hearing.
All right, very well. So there was nothing discussed?
No
so-
discussion, it
All right, very
was
well.
pretty quickly, please re-advertise.
All right, very well. Name and addresses again?
Aaron Hills, 125 High Street, Boston.
Yeah.
Jonathan Clavens Law Group, 420 Boylston Street, Boston.
Sarah McCarthy from VHB, 120 Front Street, Worcester, Massachusetts.
Oh, very well. Who's starting?
Good evening. Appreciate your time. So hopefully have all the procedural stuff sorted out properly and like to consider a variance or ask for your consideration of a variance on setback requirements for the proposed solar project at 0 Route 25. Just as a reminder, this is these variances, which Sarah will detail a bit, are based on a compromise site plan, based on a settlement agreement reached with the planning board. So Sarah will go through that in more detail, and then John with Clavens will also maybe review a few procedural things if needed.
All right, Sarah.
Evening, again, Sarah McCarthy from VHB. We're the site civil engineer for the project. As Aaron noted, we're in front of you for a variance on the setbacks as part of the compromise site plan. You have a color graphic as part of the package, but it's also the same graphic up here on the board. But I just wanted to run through the different variable setbacks that we're providing on the plan and the explanation behind them. So starting on the Route 25 property line, which is just to the plan left, this portion of the site, along with kind of moving clockwise around adjacent to the Surecran Services lot, we are providing a 75-foot zoning compliant setback at those locations. Continuing clockwise where the green line is noted, those are setbacks ranging from 0 feet to 15 feet, adjacent strictly to the Town of Wareham Municipal Maintenance Facility that's located on the abutting property. Since those are more minimal setbacks just due to the lot configuration in this area, we are providing additional privacy slats within the chain link fence that's proposed surrounding the solar array. Again, continuing clockwise, adjacent to the blue hatch, which is also the Town of Wareham lot, but the undeveloped portion of that site. This is where both the shape of the lot as well as the topography is a bit challenging. So to have a compliant and feasible solar array, we are providing a 30-foot setback along this portion of the property line, which will be at the bottom of the existing slope part of that site. I will also note that these setbacks are to the fence line itself, as that's defined as a structure in the zoning bylaws, but the setbacks to the panels themselves is an additional 10 to 15 feet, just for context. Again, continuing around, we are now adjacent to the Cape Solar Surecran Services on the north side. We're providing a 50-foot setback there, again, where the fence is located at the toe of slope. And then adjacent to the cranberry bogs, we're providing 50 feet and 75 feet setbacks on this northern portion. And then where the wetlands are located at the southeast portion of the property, we have a 30 to about 100-foot setback, again, to the fence line in this area. So that's detailing, again, where we're providing less than the zoning compliant setbacks of 75 feet. And I can let John from Clavens Law Group go over any of the procedural questions.
Great, thanks. So it's important to walk through a little bit the procedural background here, because we first proposed the project to the town all the way back in 2021, September 2021. and it's been a long journey to get here to this week. So I'm going to walk through the procedural background quickly, and then talk about the request for the variance. I've just lost my... Hold on one second. It's all here. Should come back. Give our cloud system a minute.
Can I ask you a question while he's getting his computer up?
Yeah.
So, when you guys are talking about setbacks, you're talking about property line setbacks?
The distance,
But then beyond the property line, there's an additional setback to the structures that would be erected, the solar panel themselves?
so as the zoning bylaws define the setback that's required, the 75-foot setback, that's to any structure, which a fence is defined
Recording in
as a structure
progress.
as part of the bylaws. So where we're providing 75 feet to the fence, that's where it's
Recording
zoning compliant. Just for added context, so you can understand how the site will be laid out, the setbacks that we note are to the fence themselves, but then where the panels are located are additional 10 to 15 feet away from the property line.
So the black line is a fence line?
Correct, yes, surrounding the solar array.
So the setback is to the fence, and then from the fence, there's going to be another at least 10 feet?
Correct.
I just wanted to understand that. Thank you.
How high the fence?
The fence is 8 feet tall.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you for your patience.
right.
Technical difficulties. All right, so we initially proposed a project in September 2021 as a solar plus battery energy storage project. We did a lot of work with the planning board. Issues were raised, we discussed them, we provided additional information, got them comfortable on many counts. But the battery storage component of the project continued to be controversial. The town at the time didn't have a battery energy storage bylaw. These projects were newer throughout Massachusetts at the time. We decided to drop that component of the project, withdrew the application from the planning board, refiled a new application in June 2023 that was just solar, no battery storage. We were working constructively with the planning board, moving swiftly toward approval. A lot of talk about how the site was well-suited for solar. Project was well-designed. But in October 2023, the town amended its solar bylaw to increase the required buffer from a solar project from 50 feet to 75 feet. We had already, in an earlier phase, as part of another concession, redesigned the project for 50 feet. But given the very challenging shape of the lot, a long, thin hockey stick and a blade of a hockey stick, it was just impossible to do a ground mount solar project with the 75 feet buffer. The board felt compelled to deny it. We appealed to the land court and had reasons why we thought the denial was improper. But we engaged constructively with a long series of negotiations, including, as I understand, one or more joint executive sessions, not involving us, but involving both the planning board and this board and town council to discuss the matter and ways of resolving it. And we hammered out a settlement in October 2025 that involved this very carefully calibrated redesigned project with variable setback distances so that we could provide the full 75-foot buffer where we could and where it was most important to the town, and then use a smaller buffer where it was less important. The land court issued a formal remand order in February 2026, sending the case back to the planning board. And both the settlement agreement and the remand order contemplated that not only would we go back to the planning board, but we would come here and seek the variances needed to affect that carefully constructed compromise site plan. We met with the planning board 2 days ago on Monday. Extraordinarily constructive meeting with planning to do work with the board staff over the next week or so, and then come back at their very next meeting with the idea that they'll have a decision drafted and be ready to approve the project and finally move forward. So we're here before you for this critical variance that's a part of the settlement agreement. The variance, from your perspective, can be an ordinary variance request, where we've tried to address the ordinary variance standard. So unique physical circumstances and hardship, financial or otherwise, no substantial detriment to the public good, without derogating from the intent of the bylaw. And we think this application meets all those criteria. As you've seen, this is a really bizarrely shaped lot that makes compliance with the 75-foot buffer impossible for this project. That involves hardship both to Wareham PV1 as the petitioner and to the landowner. There would be no substantial detriment to the public good. The bylaw allows for ground mount solar facilities as long as they comply with the terms of the bylaw. The planning board in this case stipulated in the settlement agreement that but for the 75-foot buffer issue, the project would comply with all other bylaw requirements. So that's not in dispute at this point. The planning board told us that it expects to issue a decision with its current very, very long list of standard conditions. We were told that they number about 100. So we will work through that with them, and that's in their hands. No significant increase in traffic after the project is installed, no water, sewer, or other town services required. Noise, dust, odors, not an issue. Little visual impact. The design and the location buffer the facility from the surrounding area. There's utilization of existing access drive. So we think this qualifies for a dimensional variance under state law and your bylaw. And in the context of this settlement built around a compromise site plan, we ask that you grant the variance and allow the planning board and us to move forward with this carefully negotiated plan. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Start by questions. Mr. Alden?
I don't have any at this time.
Roy?
I do not have any.
I got a couple questions. In the past, I've heard a lot of horror stories about solar panels. Back when they were originally, when solar panels first came to be, they were made out of all kinds of nasty stuff, and they created all kinds of nasty problems. Since then, I know in this country, there's been a bunch of rules made to make solar panels much more palatable, maybe is a good word, more environmentally friendly, less toxic. So my question would be, the panels that are going to be used here, would these panels that are going to be used, would they be the nasty ones from the old days that you've had in a warehouse, or are they the new kind that's not so scary?
To borrow the technical term, they will not be the nasty ones.
They're not
So-
nasty?
No, the panels that we have planned and still plan to use are domestically produced by First Solar.
I mean, as I understand, in my, I hate scientific language because it just gets confusing and everybody's eyes glass over and we don't know. I mean, some of those words sound really impressive, but are they really scary? So I don't want to be scary. I want to be, I think solar could be a good thing if it's done right. If cars didn't have brakes on them, they'd be very dangerous. But we have rules, so these are the new style solar panels.
Yes.
Other than that, I think this is a good project. Thank you.
Chris?
What's the life of the panels?
The life of the panels, they're warranted for 30 years.
30 years? Have you started any tree clearing on this land at all, or is, no?
We have not.
I'm good.
Richard?
I'm all set, thank you.
Elizabeth?
Just curious, what happens to the panels after 30 years?
So the decommissioning plan that was last presented, and which we're in the process of updating, includes removal and then recycling of those panels.
I'm reading that domestically manufactured solar panels are made out of pretty recyclable materials like aluminum, copper, silver.
Yeah, and again, First Solar, the OEM, the producer of the panels we intend to use,
Mhm.
has a pretty robust recycling program that they administer themselves.
Nice, thank you.
Sure.
I have no comments right now. All right, we're gonna move to the public. Anyone in favor of this project? Anyone against? Ms. Hayes? How did I know?
Annie, excuse me, Annie Hayes, Farmers Lane. I appreciate your concern, Jim. I would like to get a little bit more information because toxic, non-toxic. I was in on the planning board meetings, and my understanding, if I remember correctly, is that the original panels were cadmium, tellurium, and cadmium is one of the most toxic substances on the planet. And I'm not sure, but I would think that maybe this is over our aquifer, and I think there's been far too much lack of science in regarding what can happen to our aquifer, especially with large amounts, thousands, hundreds of thousands by now in Wareham panels. So I would like more information about the panels, if through the chair, if that would be done.
Well, I hate to say this again. What's before us is a variance. That, I'm sure you attended the planning board meeting for these, when they went there. Have you?
On the new proposal on Monday? No, I did not.
Okay, but throughout the hearings, have you been to any of those on the planning board, to this particular project?
I just don't know what the panels are. I knew what the original ones were that First Solar made.
Right, but have you? Go ahead.
Let me just respond to the variance. The variance has environmental protections embedded in it, and that's why these folks said it doesn't hurt the common good. And I would say our aquifer is the common good, and it's critical.
I absolutely agree. However, a variance, it's a zoning matter. These are questions, I hate to keep beating you up, but these are planning board questions. So all what's before us, either we allow it closer to the setback or we don't. I mean, out of curiosity, I think Jim asked what kind of panels or what kind of wires or all these. But let's say it goes to court. These will never be brought up. It's the only thing we be brought up, the hardship, the uniqueness, and if it derogates from the intention of the bylaw. That's the only thing will be questioned on this particular project.
This portion of it.
On this portion. So if that was a variance on the new on the previous, like about 3 years ago, if it was a variance and we are the granting authority of the site plan review, then something would be, your question would be valid, or it'll have an impact on the decision. But this question, I'm sure it was asked over and over and over again in the planning board. Let her finish. Go ahead, ma'am.
Let me ask then, is there any point when you're reviewing something that's gone through the planning board that you would ever consider the setback as an environmental consideration?
Personally, no.
Never. And that complies with the bylaw? I'm asking.
When you ask for a setback variance, this place could be built in wetland, right on inside the aquifer, not on top of it. Granting a variance has nothing to do with the impact of it. That's the different granting authority. Like, let me give you another example. Makes your life easier. Say somebody has 30,000 square feet lot and an R30, right? It has the frontage, the square footage, and everything. It's a buildable lot. There's only one problem. This lot is totally underwater, right? You come to this board, and this board would tell you that this lot is buildable, believe it or not. Now,
Zoning.
in zoning is buildable lot. Now, when they go to conservation would say, well, you got a problem. So what I'm trying to say, each department has their jurisdiction over what they grant. In this particular matter, our jurisdiction is if we grant the variance to the setback or we don't. That's it. If we file, do you understand? What kind of panel, what kind of steel, what kind of wire, all this is planning. Apparently, the planning board been to court with this. They've got a remand order twice, and they've been at it for 3-4 years. So I'm sure these things been asked over and over again.
All right, so my question then is, are there any conditions under which you would deny this variance? It sounds like it has to go through.
Oh, sure, there's conditions we can.
Well, I mean, we could.
Can you cite me one so I get?
Well, the conditions we do, it's not what kind of panel you use or what kind of wire, what kind of electrical or transformer. The only condition we'll use, maybe say, well, you know what, we want 10-foot fence. This is the only condition we could use. Maybe we want an evergreen fence. These are the conditions we could use.
I'll give her an example.
You know, Jim has another example.
If they came to us and said they were putting solar panels next to your house, and it was gonna be within 30 feet of your bedroom window, and you came and said, I don't wanna look out and see that, we'd consider that. Because there's setbacks for zoning that says it's gotta, it's gotta be set back for that reason.
For sound.
For that reason, that's zoning. In this zone, you can bake bread. In this zone, you can mount tires. In this zone over here, you can build houses. So, yes, of course there'd be conditions in which we would say we want the setbacks adhered to. When the solar panels are overlooking a cranberry bog, the cranberries don't care. The cranberries don't care. They're not gonna grow any better or any worse if there's a solar panel 30 feet away from it.
Okay, I
A
understand.
person looking at it would be bothered, and so we'd take that into because we'd give more consideration to you than we would a cranberry.
So, thank you. So aesthetics, sound, those kinds of considerations. I consider that protecting our water is the number one consideration, but you relegate that to the planning board.
And conservation, and the
And
Board of Health.
conservation. Okay,
And
that
the
is
fire
not your
department, and
domain.
all those other departments that,
All right. Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, just in case anybody is concerned about Ms. Hayes' remarks, first of all, we were at this for nearly 5 years now. Many meetings with the planning board, with the old application and the new application. Ms. Hayes was a frequent customer. frequent questioner, and we tried our very best to answer all of her and other questions and questions from the board, including many questions on any threat to groundwater. We brought in a whole ream of experts to allay the board's concerns. We got the manufacturer to provide a special certificate that there was no PFAS in the panels. That's all in the planning board record. And we agree wholeheartedly that those issues are not part of this setback variance request.
Like I said, I mean, it is not our jurisdiction, but for courtesy, I'd like to people talk about it and board member question it. But like I said, we're only here for one reason only, and it's the setback, and this is our only jurisdiction. Anyone else in the public? I'll go back to the board. What do you think, Connor?
I think that the applicant has provided enough evidence based on, they mentioned specifically topography and the shape of the lot, and I would agree with that. And yeah, I think that granting variances would be appropriate.
Troy?
I agree.
Jimmy?
I'm good.
Chris?
I agree with Connor. This lot definitely has shape and topography for a variance.
All right. Rich?
I agree with you guys, but it's only because of they wouldn't make any money if they couldn't, so that's what they're into. And I appreciate the fact that they went back to the drawing board, you got rid of the batteries, and you've been very patient, you've been trying, you've been spending money, so I don't have any problem with it.
Elizabeth? You good?
I'm good.
You good?
I would like to just, for the record, publicly thank Ms. Hayes for drawing everything to everybody's attention. I mean, you gotta have people that are out there pounding the drum.
I agree.
You know, so, and I just for your information, you forced me to go, use Google. You know, we have information available to us in this new society with the internet, and it's wonderful. And so I'm comfortable with my vote this evening, but I'm appreciative of your bringing this to our attention.
I got a question to you, ma'am. On the fence, you said the setback from the fence, is it because it's 8-foot fence?
It's just how the zoning definition defines a structure. Fences are included in that.
You sure?
No, they're not.
It's not.
Okay.
Fence or not?
And how the landscape buffer specifically is defined for
In the
setback.
solar bylaw, yeah.
Apologies, not the definition. There's the specific section in the landscape buffer for a solar setback.
Okay.
Is defined from the property
That's
line to
what
the
it
fence.
is. I was gonna
My
say fence
apologies.
is not. All right, very well. That being said, would you like to add anything before we close? Sir?
Nope.
No?
Motion to close.
We have a motion by Jim to close this public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And myself, Nazir Kalasi, aye. Now wishes.
Motion to grant as revised plans have been presented with the setbacks proposed.
All right, so we have a motion to grant the variance, and it does meet statutory requirement of Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 10, and that's the motion by Jim as presented. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Chris. All in favor, say aye.
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, abstained.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And myself, Nazir Kalasi, aye. So it's 410, it carries. 401, sorry. 401.
You didn't
Richard
deny, you
abstained.
abstained?
Abstained, yeah. So it carries, you good? Thank
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
All right, we're gonna move to the public hearing, 26-31, 27 Longwood Ave.
I got all kinds of stuff, so I don't know.
You wanna
It's
keep
okay.
yours?
No.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, that's a good idea.
Well, they've been for a long, this is years. been in front of us for years. This is this part of this one.
That's probably that. Yeah, I'm not.
It made me think. Thank you.
This one's for another
This one's
hidden trail.
Okay, I can take care of that. Thank you. Oh, it's about time for the seventh inning stretch. I'm sorry. We have a seventh inning stretch, folks. Sorry. I just need a minute to get the Charles. Put back where they belong. This is Longwood?
Yeah.
And I have to read this one, Nazi, I think.
Yeah, you do. It's brand new.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have to genuflect or anything when we? When I was in parochial school, they said I couldn't touch my teeth on the roof of my mouth, you know. Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on June 10, 2026 at 6:30 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 26-31 for a special permit or a variance from the requirements of Article 6, Table 622, and Table 628, and Article 13, Sections 1350, 1351, 1352, and 1353, under the Wareham zoning bylaws, to Charles Calhoun of 51 Sachem Drive, Sagamore Beach, Mass. 02562, who proposes to expand an existing porch and close it in to create a large first-floor bedroom and kitchen. Kitchen and bathroom will be remodeled, and a second-floor bathroom and dormer will be added at 27 Longwood Ave. This appears on Assessors Map 1, Lot 570, in the R30 zoning district.
All right, name and address for the record.
Good evening, my name is Charles Calhoun, I'm an architect, I live at 51 Sachem Drive, Sagamore Beach.
All
I'm
right.
here with my clients, Joe and Kathy. Right.
All right, so you want to tell us what you're planning? Go ahead.
Couldn't hear me? How's that better? Okay. My clients and I have been working on expanding an existing cottage so that they can eventually retire there. And to be able to do that, we've had to upgrade all the mechanical systems, electrical systems, that sort of thing. And they wanted to have a first floor master bedroom. So we've added a very small addition of 139 square feet. We have incorporated the space that were once covered porches to make this living space on the first floor. On the second floor, we added a second bathroom for the bedrooms on the second floor. That's pretty much what we've done.
So, all right, very well. So you're gonna expand the FAR, you're gonna expand the building coverage, and then you're gonna expand the FAR proposed and FAR building coverage. And you are you're an existing non-conforming. If the board feel that this project is not so detrimental to the neighborhood, we could act upon it as a special permit, which is a lot easier to grant. That being said, I'm gonna start question with Connor.
I don't have any right now.
Troy.
No questions.
Jimmy?
I just need a couple of minutes to absorb what you're doing, but so far, no real questions. It seems pretty, I'm just,
Straightforward.
yeah.
Chris?
I have any questions?
No questions? Richard?
Well, I don't have any questions.
Elizabeth?
No questions.
Okay. Anyone on the public for or against this project? I hear none. Jimmy, you have any questions then?
I think we're good, but they're already over the allowable FAR, but they're increasing it by 4%. They're already over the, building coverage. They're allowed 20. They're increasing that by 1.8%. It's almost moot, but it's, so those two items to me in this neighborhood are easy. What else do they need? A variance? They need a variance for what reason?
They don't, if we don't, if we think it's so detrimental, it'll be a variance. There's no
So
variance.
all it is the FAR and the building
Lot
coverage?
Correct.
Lot coverage.
I think that's, I think they've sat through enough foolishness tonight.
God bless you.
Do you want to add anything before we close?
No, no.
All right, that being said, can we get a motion?
Motion to close the public portion of this hearing?
Motion by Jim, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
Myself, Nazir El Khalasi, aye.
Okay,
So it's closed.
that said, I'd make a motion to grant relief in the form of, not finding it detrimental to the neighborhood, I would grant relief in the form of a special permit for the increase in FAR and the increase in lot area coverage.
Building coverage.
Building
Okay.
coverage, yeah.
So we have a motion by Jim, do I have a second?
Second, Chris.
Second by Chris. All in favor, say aye.
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And myself, Nazir El Khalasi, aye. And the findings are,
What color nails are you gonna use? What kind of, no, I'm only kidding, you're all set.
you're all set.
You're done.
Thank you very much.
And Patty, the findings are not so detrimental to the neighborhood with the standard conditions.
You did all of that.
Oh, Jimmy, yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. The last one, 26-34, 2203 Cranberry Highway. You were the first here and the last.
I know, we just said that.
Aren't you guys glad you got here so early?
I didn't know the first meeting was gonna be that long.
Thank you. This
We
is the
need those
last
like
one.
restaurant clickers.
Yeah, we do.
Let you know when you're up.
We learned a lot.
We learned a lot about an executive meeting. You come in and they're all comfortable and they go, get out.
Yeah, we learned that too.
Let me, one, two, one, oops, sorry, one,
So the
two,
next
three,
zoning board appeals meeting.
4.
You got a little
Yeah,
bit
nice.
of time. before
Right.
you Come in, let's go out and talk a little bit.
This is Federal Credit Union.
Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on June 10th, 2026 at 6:30 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 26-34 for a variance from the requirements of Article 11, Table 1160, 1164, and Table 1172 under the Wareham zoning bylaws to sign design of 170 Liberty Street, Brockton, Mass. 02301, who proposes installation of a new pylon and 2 wayfinding signs for Cranberry Federal Credit Union at 2203 Cranberry Highway. This appears on Assessors Map 99, Lot 1004, in the Commercial Strip Zoning District.
All right, I need name and addresses and who you represent.
I am Christine Ripley. I work at Sign Design in Brockton, Mass. I live in Rochester, Massachusetts.
And I am Marie Mercia. I also work at Sign Design, and I'm from Mansfield, Mass.
All right. Okay, so what are you trying to do?
Our client, it was originally PCT Federal Credit Union. They've changed over to Cranberry Federal Credit Union. This is their proposed exterior sign package. We had presented this for feedback to the building department, and upon a little bit of back and forth, we submitted to for the variance for the electronic message center.
Is that a sign now? There's a sign there now
They
for...
have a smaller post and panel that was covered with a temporary banner for the new Cranberry Federal Credit Union.
So it's a name change.
Yep,
It's a name change, and are you increasing the size?
yes,
And you're going from a static painted sign to an electronic digital?
Yes.
It can change, it can say, "Happy birthday, Susie," it can say,
they
"Come in,
typically won't do that.
we'll give you 22% interest on the
Yes.
savings account."
Correct. Yep,
Go to that bank.
yep, you can adjust,
You can adjust it daily.
exactly, yes. Yep, you can adjust how much time between, how many seconds between the changes. You can adjust the brightness.
You don't have one?
I don't have another one, so.
All right,
I have it on mine.
Connor.
I don't have any questions right now. I think that I wouldn't have a problem with an illuminated sign in that area. It's not really like there are so many residential houses there. Yeah, that's it.
Troy.
I don't have any issues with this.
Are we conforming with, do we need, what's the building inspector say? I haven't got there yet.
It's bigger, 50 square feet, they have 65.83. The proposed 65, it's only allowed 50.
50 square feet per side?
Yeah.
And they've got how much?
65, 66.
55?
66.
66, okay.
Including the
Sorry.
AC, yes.
I didn't have a chance to, I'd like to just see the pictures. I'm a picture
Now,
guy.
also, a freestanding sign, it's only allowed one sign on over a public way. What they have, I think they have also exit only.
We do, we have 2 directionals for entrance.
So they
and
need a
exit.
variance for that. Because you're allowed only one sign.
I thought the directional,
I think those exits should be like safety signs.
I think they're
exit and
allowed.
entrance.
I think there's something in there.
I believe there was.
Now, is there a reason can't be 50 feet? You're doing 65
We can adjust it based on the EMC. We can adjust the top portion.
to make it 50 square
Yep,
feet?
we can do that,
Okay,
yes.
so then you won't need a variance on that. So you
Okay,
only
yep.
need a variance on the 2 other signs.
Okay, and the EMC, the electronic message center.
Yeah.
Okay,
The height is good so they can see under it when they pull out to get into
yes,
traffic.
it's the 7 feet
7 feet,
requirement,
yeah.
yep.
Is the EMC the one that's the American flag in the
Yes,
photo?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the
Not
one that
that-
will have,
Yeah, not
you
that
can
it would
time
be an
messages.
American
and-
flag, it's just, yeah.
They're 2 separate signs,
Yes, yep.
obviously.
Anyone in public want to speak in favor or against this project? Anyone on Zoom? I hear none. So again, so they're willing to change it to 50, so they need a variance for the exit and entrance.
And
Which
for
I
the
think these are
electronic.
safety, but they still need a variance for
But what's in front of us? This sign or the exit and?
Exit, also the exit and.
No, it's all in front of us. So we need a variance to tell people where to go.
Yeah.
Yep. To enter
Yes.
and exit out of the parking lot.
Point them in the right direction.
Point them in the right direction.
Excuse me, Jim, Rich, go ahead, Rich.
I'd just like a clarification. Is the sign going to shut off after business hours, or only be on during business hours, or is it going to be on 24 hours a day?
Typically, some towns will ask that the messages either remain static overnight or change at slower rates or go to somewhat of a temperature or a time. That's kind of up to the towns, but typically the sign would stay.
I would not like to
During
see it
business
on all
hours.
hours of the day. To
During
give you
business
a
hours.
9 o'clock or
Mhm.
business hours.
Okay.
I mean,
Or at dusk
what
or
are you
something.
comfortable with? I don't want to handcuff you. I just don't want it on all night long.
You don't want it
Me
on all night.
personally would not like to see a beacon on at 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, it does dim
There is
down at
some-
night.
What's that?
It does dim down in the evening, so it's not so much of a beacon, but we can ask the client to,
I mean, because there is some residents around you over there.
Mhm. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions, Chris? No? You
So-
want, so you're in agreement to cut it down to 50 square feet?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
on a time requested by Mr. Semple?
Yeah.
Time of operation?
Yep, I will recommend that to them. Would you want it completely off the EMC portion?
Well, I don't know what dimmed is.
Oh,
you
it's
know?
just, it dims down when it's nighttime so that it's not as bright.
And again, my only concerns are for the people who do live around there,
Mhm.
just not to have this bright thing on all hours of the night.
Okay. We can do that.
So 9
That's-
o'clock is it?
Okay, I can present them with 9.
That's right on the corner of Ray Avenue, if I go by memory. Am I,
It's right across from the courthouse.
but yeah, Ray Avenue goes up, there's a house that, yeah, I know
Mm-hmm.
exactly where it is. Okay.
I have a question. Does the sign have a sensor for like dusk till dawn?
Yes.
Is it's like completely modifiable?
Oh, yes.
So-
yes. Yep, these can be adjusted. They can
Okay.
be set to a timer.
All right,
Motion
anything,
to close the public portion of this hearing?
we got a motion to close by Jim, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy, all in favor?
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And myself, Nazir Akalasi, aye. All right,
Other than the alteration to the size to conform to the square footage, I make a motion to approve the sign as presented with consideration of the hours on the evening hours.
all right. So we have a motion, do we have a discussion? Richard, you want to put your discussion with the motion, your timing?
Yes, so I make a motion that the sign be limited to its hours of operation. They agreed that it would be dimmed down, so 9 o'clock to be dimmed down.
Okay, so that's the amendment to the Jim's motion. And, okay, and with the standard conditions, I believe.
And just the only thing, it's just my concern that hopefully it can be the motion, with the motion, it, winter hours, it's a longer nighttime than it is summertime, so I just,
Exactly.
so maybe dusk would probably be the better term for my motion.
Dusk to dawn?
Okay.
Dusk might not, I mean, there might be people, in the wintertime, people coming home from work might want to know how much money they can get out of the credit union. I don't know if dusk is going to be, I mean, if I was a banker, I'd want to catch them people coming by on their way home for dinner, and it's already dark out. Kind of all the kids are coming home on the school bus in the dark. I don't oppose to, we don't need to advertise, come in and get a loan to hire a lawyer because you're drinking and driving and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. But how about 9 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning?
Fair enough.
Is that
All right.
okay?
So 9 till 6.
Off 9 to 6.
So you can still put you can still loan money to lawyers to defend drunks.
All right.
You just can't do it at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Understood.
All right, and again, okay, with the variance, was meet statutory requirement
Yep.
of MGL 48, section 10.
Thank you.
And the rest with standard conditions. So this is the motion by Jim, amended by Rich. All, do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second.
Example.
Can't second
Some-
your own.
Oh,
somebody
that's
else.
right, I can't second my
Someone
own
else
thing.
will-
Come on.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And Nazir Al-Khalasi, aye. Thank you, you good?
Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Anybody got a copy out before I throw the file
One
back?
before that, we granted, right? Yeah, I'm tired. The Longwood, we granted that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we gotta go back to the smoothie place.
Yep.
All right, can we get a motion to reconsider the vote?
So moved.
So we have a motion to reconsider the votes based on new evidence presented by the owner. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye.
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
And myself, sorry, go ahead, Rich. Go ahead. Sorry.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And Nazir Al-Khalasi, aye. All right, so we're back to the 33020 Cranberry Highway, the smoothie place. So, Josh, you said you have picture that the wall is painted?
Yes, sir. It's presented on the screen.
All right, so the wall is painted, everybody's seen that. So I guess that's what's outstanding, right?
Motion to,
Yes.
Go ahead, Jim.
motion to grant approval to issue the
Occupancy. Final.
CO.
Yeah, permanent CO.
Certificate of occupancy.
All right, we have a motion to grant the permanent CO for 3020 Cranberry Highway. Do I have a second? Motion by Jim.
Richard Semple, second.
Richard Sample, second. All in favor, say aye.
Connor Alden, aye.
Troy Larson, aye.
Jim Akabachi, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
And myself, Nazir Al-Khalasi, aye. It carries. So that's done. Are we all set? All good?
I think we're good. Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Jim to adjourn. Have a second
Unless
somewhere?
somebody has comments from board members.
Is that a second somewhere?
I just want to make sure that you had an issue with my attitude, so I just don't know if you want to make anything. You said you didn't appreciate my attitude when I came in, so I didn't know if you wanted to
Yep.
give me a tongue lashing or what you want.
Well, I don't like to do it in public, so
Okay.
let's close. I'll say my piece. So we have a second by Rich to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 And myself, aye.
Chris Conti, aye.
Richard Semple, aye.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Aroni, aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Wanna kill it?